Chapter 4740. Wu Yuan Palace Lord invited Lin Xian back to the Mountain Sea Palace. Lin Xian was wondering if he should go or not. Anyway, he had already caused 2 huge storms here. The Wind Clan and Zifu Clan probably wanted to kill him. He wouldn't give them a chance. He was ready to go. At this moment, the Crimson Dragon came over and said, "I'll go too. Kid, you have to go back to the Dragon Clan with me. The Black Sea Dragon Clan is our neighbor, so it's on the way." Wu Yuan Palace Lord smiled. Indeed, the Mountain Sea Palace relied on the mountains, and the Black Sea on the other side. "Okay, let's go together." Lin Xian nodded. Then he looked at Yi Wudao and asked, "Wudao, where are you going next?" Yi Wudao said, "I came out to cultivate. Now that I've seen the geniuses in Taiching Ancient City, I'm going to another city. Holy Abyss Ancient City. This city was stronger than Taiching Ancient City, and there were more geniuses there. Brother Lin, come after you're done." Holy Abyss Ancient City? Lin Xian took a deep breath. "Okay, I'll go." Then Yi Wudao left. He went to Holy Abyss Ancient City alone. Lin Xian said goodbye to the people of Danding Sect and returned to the Mountain Sea Palace with the Crimson Dragon, Toad, Elder Ruochin Wu Yuan Palace Lord, and the others. Danfeng waved her hand and said, "Lin Xian, I'll also go to Holy Abyss Ancient City. We'll meet again then." "Let's go." Wu Yuan Palace Lord waved his hand, and the space beast enveloped them, and they disappeared. Great sages were very fast, and they didn't have to worry about being attacked. Lin Xian asked, "Rizalong, why do you want me to go back to the Dragon Clan with you?" The Crimson Dragon said, "Other than not seeing you for a long time, there's something I need your help with. It's a long story. I'll tell you later." Lin Xian nodded and closed his eyes to cultivate immortality and indestructibility. They didn't say anything along the way. They returned to Shanghai City and arrived at the Mountain Sea Palace. Greetings to the Palace Master. When the people of the Mountain Sea Palace saw Elder Wu Yuan return, they respectfully bowed. It was that Lin Xian. Had he also returned with the Hall Master? Countless people looked at Lin Xian. When they looked at the Crimson Dragon, they were surprised. Some of the demon beasts they had subdued started to roar anxiously. "Hall Master, who is this?" Many elders walked up and asked. Palace Master Wu Yuan said, "Let me introduce you. This is the young clan leader of the Black Sea's dragon race. He is our neighbor." The young master of the Dragon Clan and the elders of Mountain Sea Palace were all shocked. Furthermore, their bloodline was definitely heaven-defying. It was no wonder that the demonic beasts they had subdued were so terrified. This was the suppression of the dragon bloodline. The Mountain Sea Palace held a welcoming dinner for Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon. After Xiao Shiyu received the news, she rushed over as well. When she saw Lin Xian, her eyes turned red. "Why didn't you come to see me for so long? Did you forget about me?" Lin Xian said with a smile. "How could that be? Didn't I come back?" The toad at the side revealed a strange expression. "Not bad, kid. Another one is here. Go away." Lin Xian kicked the toad away. Next, Lin Xian accompanied Xiao Shiyu in the Mountain Sea Palace for a few days. Finally, he went to the Xiao clan. He paid a visit to the Xiao clan's clan leader, Xiao Mu. Then he left the Mountain Sea Palace and headed to the Black Sea with the Crimson Dragon and the Toad. The entire buried Emperor Star was divided into 4 seas and 8 desolates. The Black Sea was one of them, and it could be said to be the largest one. The Black Sea was boundless, and there were too many demon beasts hidden in it. The Black Sea's dragon race. It was one of them, and it was an existence equivalent to a supreme overlord. The group of people shuttled through the bottom of the sea, with the dragon race's experts leading the way. A dragon that was tens of thousands of meters long roared. The surrounding sea demons all prostrated themselves, and no one dared to step forward. "All right, Rizalong, you can speak now, right?" The dark red divine dragon said. "I invited you here because I want to borrow something from you." Kid, how many eyes of time are left? There are 4 left. What's wrong? Lin Xian sighed. You can't be thinking of using the eyes of time, right? Although this thing is very magical, it's probably useless at our realm. We can only blame ourselves for killing that time serpent. Otherwise, if he had grown to the sage realm, the eyes of time would have been more useful to us. Lin Xian had used the eyes of time to recover before, and the effect was very good. However, at that time, he was only a king, not even a sage. Now, he had already reached the sage realm, and the gap between the two of them was too big. The eyes of time were no longer useful. Otherwise, he would have taken it out and given it to Xia Zhiyo. However, Xia Zhiyo's realm had surpassed ordinary great sages, and the eyes of time were probably useless. Unless it was a great sage level eye of time, it would be useless. However, that kind of thing no longer existed in the ancient era. I know that too, but there's still a trace of hope. At least we have to know who the murderer is. Next, the Crimson Dragon explained in detail, and Lin Xian understood after hearing it. The Crimson Dragon was from the divine dragon clan of the Dragon Clan. Its identity was very special and very rare. Although it wasn't a member of the nest of 10,000 dragons, its status in the entire Dragon Clan was extraordinary. The Crimson Dragon's father came from the Black Sea and went to other worlds. Now that the Crimson Dragon had come to the buried Emperor's Star, it wasn't long before he was sensed by the Dragon Clan of the Black Sea. When they sensed the divine dragon bloodline, they immediately brought the Crimson Dragon back. Furthermore, they conferred him the title of Young Master of the Dragon Clan. All of this was originally very good, but the current Dragon Clan was surging with undercurrents. All of this was because of the nest of 10,000 dragons. In the Dragon Clan, the nest of 10,000 dragons was an existence that had produced a great emperor. In particular, the other party had left behind an emperor who had awakened a few years ago. Now he had grown to an unbelievable level. The goal of this emperor was definitely to become the Dragon Emperor and unify the Dragon Clan of the myriad worlds again. The Dragon Clan of the Black Sea was very strong, so they were naturally targeted by the nest of 10,000 dragons. Originally, the Dragon Clan of the Black Sea wasn't afraid because they had a top genius, the previous young master of the Crimson Dragon, called Long Guang. He was very terrifying. However, he had fallen in Holy Abyss ancient city. This made the Dragon Clan of the Black Sea go crazy. They sent countless experts to investigate, but in the end, they still didn't know who had done it. They had suspected a few people, but there was no evidence, so the matter was left unsettled. However, the Dragon Clan of the Black Sea never gave up. After the Crimson Dragon arrived and learned of this matter, he thought of Lin Xian. He wanted to see if there was a way to use the Eye of Time. At the very least, it would be good to get some clues. Lin Xian understood after hearing this. Don't worry, the two of us obtain the Eye of Time together. I will do my best to help you. Chapter 47-41. Their speed was very fast. 10 days later, they slowed down. Endless rays of light appeared in front of them, and a dragon palace appeared at the bottom of the sea. What a terrifying aura! Lin Xian was surprised. He felt that the great dragon sword soul in his body had become excited and was letting out dragon roars. We're here. Let's go. Treat this place as your own home. Don't stand on ceremony with me. The Crimson Dragon waved his hand. Lin Xian took a deep breath and walked over. Little White also jumped out and said, Rosalong, is there anything delicious? The Crimson Dragon said, There are enough top-grade spirit fruits. That's good. Little White's big eyes narrowed into crescents. The guards in front walked over and greeted the young master. They were incomparably respectful. Open the array. The Crimson Dragon waved his hand and said. The guards formed seals and opened the array. The group walked in. When Lin Xian walked over, They were extremely curious. Why did the young master invite a human over? And they seemed to have a good relationship, they carefully sensed. Then, when Lin Xian walked past them, their bodies trembled. A hint of fear appeared in their eyes. Damn it, what's going on? The other party had an aura that suppressed their dragon blood. This is impossible. This can only happen to the young master. The young master's bloodline is very terrifying. How can this person have such a terrifying aura of the Tao of Dragon? They didn't know that this was the power of the great dragon sword soul, but they became incomparably respectful to Lin Xian. This was the respect for a powerhouse. The dragon race lived in the dragon palace. In addition, some of the guards were powerhouses of the dragon race. Some were other sea demons such as shrimp soldiers, crab generals, various fish, and so on. These people were very strong, and they had submitted to the dragon race for generations. The surrounding buildings were even more strange. They had a unique style of the sea. The crimson dragon shuttled all the way. After entering, he transformed into his true form. He was very fast. At the same time, he shouted, "Old men, come out. I've brought the people back." In the distance, some old figures walked out from the palaces and pavilions in the sea. The aura of the Tao of Dragon on these people was very terrifying. They were obviously at the great sage level. With a single step, they arrived beside him. After greeting the young master, they first bowed to the Crimson Dragon, then looked at Lin Xian. This must be the friend you were talking about. After greeting his seniors, Lin Xian didn't dare to be arrogant. These were all great sages of the dragon folk. He bowed respectfully to the elders. "Young man, you don't have to be so courteous. You're a friend of the young master, so you're a friend of the black sea dragon race." These great saints all looked at Lin Xian and nodded slightly. Suddenly, they froze, their expressions shocked. From Lin Xian's body, they could sense an extremely powerful aura of the Tao of Dragon. What was going on? They were stupefied. "You're from the dragon race?" Lin Xian shook his head. Another elder of the dragon clan asked, "Then have you consumed dragon blood before? Or have you cultivated a divine ability of the dragon clan?" Lin Xian shook his head again. The Crimson Dragon said, "Stop guessing. He is the descendant of the great dragon." Boy, these people are very reliable. Since the Crimson Dragon said so, Lin Xian didn't hide it. He waved his hand, and the shadow of the great dragon sword circled around him. A terrifying dragon chi swept across the 9 heavens. The surrounding elders of the Black Sea's dragon clan were shocked. The legendary great dragon sword was actually obtained by a human? No wonder it had such an aura. This pressure was not weaker than the young master's bloodline. The elders were extremely shocked. After Lin Xian retracted it, he said, "Senior, do you want to borrow my Eye of Time?" As he spoke, he waved his hand and took out an Eye of Time from his storage ring. A mysterious power bloomed. When the surrounding people sensed it, they gasped. The power of time had always been mysterious. Lin Xian sighed. "To be honest, I obtained this Eye of Time many years ago. The Serpent of Time that I killed was only at the king level, so the effect of the Eye of Time was limited. I hope that the elders can be mentally prepared." A great saint sighed. "This matter has happened for several years, and we have long accepted it. Long Guang's body and soul were destroyed, and not even a remnant soul was left. There was no hope of resurrection. We just want to find clues to the murderer and avenge Long Guang. Then there's no time to lose. Let's start. Little friend, this way, please." The group walked in. The other dragon generals were guarding outside. After entering a large hall, the supreme elders of the dragon race performed hand seals and tore open a crack in the wall. Then a strange space appeared. "This is?" Lin Xian was surprised. What a terrifying method. The great elder said that this is the place where Long Guang died. We sealed it and brought it back. The space wasn't big, with a radius of 10,000 miles. It had the aura of the Dragon Clan. Obviously, the Dragon Clan's expert died here. After Lin Xian walked in, the Crimson Dragon and the elders of the Dragon Clan also walked in. They took out the Eye of Time, activated the spell, and placed it in the void. Immediately, the surrounding world spun, and time flowed backward. A mysterious aura filled the air. Gradually, an image appeared between heaven and earth. The originally shattered blood mist gradually condensed, forming a shadow. It was very blurry, but the elders of the Dragon Clan cried out in surprise. The great elder's pupils constricted. It was Long Guang. It was really useful. They were shocked. Time seemed to have flowed backward. The scenes that happened to Long Guang appeared again, but the voice was a little blurry. Lin Xian was also surprised. He discovered that Long Guang had been tricked here. Then, a few great experts appeared in the surroundings and sealed the entire world. Then, a figure descended. Those people attacked together and killed Long Guang. Damn it! Who was it? The Dragon Clan powerhouses gritted their teeth and roared. Their eyes were red. The Crimson Dragon also frowned. I can't see clearly. Kid, can you see more clearly? Lin Xian said, I'll give it a try. He took out another Eye of Time and activated it with all his might. Immediately, another wave of time power flowed out. Lin Xian said, I can't make everyone appear, but I can make one of them appear. The great elder pointed at a figure opposite Long Guang and said, It should be him. He should be the leader. Try your best to restore his appearance. Lin Xian said, I understand. He controlled the power of the two eyes of time and enveloped the figure. The figure gradually became clear, and everything else became blurry. It was a handsome man with outstanding facial features. Dragon chi surrounded his body. It could crush the heavens. He was like the supreme dragon emperor, so powerful that people looked up to him. Who was this person? What a terrifying dragon clan bloodline. Lin Xian was shocked. Even though it was just a scene of time, he still felt a chill down his spine. After the elders of the Dragon Clan of the Black Sea saw it, their pupils constricted. Damn it, it was him. Chapter 47-42. Who is this person? Lin Xian was shocked. Do the people of the dragon race know him? The great elder of the dragon race gritted his teeth. He was Long Wu from the nest of 10,000 dragons. He was also the son of the dragon emperor. Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air. The son of a great emperor? Is he an imperial prince? It was too unbelievable. No wonder he was shocked by the scene. The other elders also roared. It was indeed the nest of 10,000 dragons. Damn it, they would definitely not let them off. The power of the Eye of Time disappeared, and the two eyes shattered. The scene slowly dissipated, but they already knew who the murderer was. A few elders of the dragon race rushed over and roared at the sky, commanding the dragons. At this moment, the entire dragon race of the Black Sea was alarmed. What caused such a change? One figure after another rushed over. They all asked, Is there a strong enemy? Those elders gritted their teeth. At this moment, they wanted to gather all the dragons and kill the nest of 10,000 dragons. However, the Crimson Dragon flew over and said, Old men, I advise you to calm down. The nest of 10,000 dragons is stronger than us. They have an extreme Tao Emperor weapon and are more terrifying than us. If you act rashly, the entire dragon race of the Black Sea might be destroyed. Is this what you want to see? As the Crimson Dragon's voice sounded, the elder's eyes gradually returned to normal. Damn it. An elder stood out and said, If there's nothing else, you can all go back. The surrounding dragons left. A few core elders gritted their teeth. Are we not going to take revenge? Revenge! Of course, we have to take revenge. But now is not the time for a decisive battle. Since I am the young clan leader of the Black Sea dragon race, This revenge is also mine. I will go to Saint Distant Ancient City and kill that guy. No, the young clan leader is too dangerous. The great elder shook his head. They had already lost a young clan leader. If another one died, the loss would be too great. After all, there were too few people with a bloodline like the Crimson Dragon. Don't worry, I am not alone. This kid will go with me, especially since this kid has the great dragon sword soul. He can be considered half a member of the dragon race. If the two of us join forces, I don't believe that we can't take him down. Young master, it's not that I don't believe you, but the gap between us is just too big. He was an imperial prince with an extraordinary bloodline. He was a saint when he was born, and now he was already standing at the peak of the saint-king realm. He would soon become a great sage. Moreover, it was said that his battle prowess was no weaker than that of a great sage. Furthermore, he had already ascended to the 90th level of the Sacred Gulf Tower and would soon be crowned the champion. Such a character was simply undefeatable. We don't stand a chance in a one-on-one battle, and if you want to attack him, that's even more impossible. He has even more experts of the Tao of Dragon by his side. Unless we use the power of our entire clan, we won't stand a chance. Was that guy really that terrifying? The Crimson Dragon gasped. Lin Xian was also surprised. Although there were many words in it, he did not understand what they meant. However, Prince Guang's identity was different. He knew that this Long Wu was extremely powerful. Most likely, he was even more talented than Leaf Dodenier, Light, and the others. Moreover, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty had been revived from the true spirit world. It had only been a few years, yet the other party was already close to becoming a great sage. His speed far surpassed theirs. One had to know that Lin Xian's own cultivation speed was already heaven-defying. How many inheritance treasures did he have? Yet he still couldn't compare to the Emperor's. The identity of the Emperor's son was truly terrifying. The Crimson Dragon took a deep breath. Although that guy is terrifying, I won't give up so easily. Besides, even if you really want to attack the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty, you have to be fully prepared. I'll go to Holy Abyss City first and meet that guy to buy time for you. It won't be too late to make a move when you're fully prepared. Lin Xian also said, I'll go too. I haven't seen the real Emperor's son yet. One day, I'll fight him. Indeed, if he wanted to become a great emperor, Lin Xian would definitely clash with the other party on his emperor's road. Besides, the other party was the Crimson Dragon's enemy, so he was his enemy, the Grand Elder, and the others still disagreed. The Crimson Dragon argued for a long time before they agreed. They could go to Holy Abyss City, but they had to be careful and not rashly attack him. Give us some time. We'll definitely not let him off. Next, Lin Xian and the others went back to rest. After the Crimson Dragon arrived, Lin Xian asked, How much do you know about that guy? Tell me. The Crimson Dragon said, I don't know either. I only know that he has only been awake for a few years, but he's already so terrifying. His bloodline power is probably beyond our imagination, or even our understanding. If you meet him, you have to be careful. He might snatch your great dragon sword soul. Lin Xian said, Sooner or later, I'll fight him, no matter if we have grudges or not. We'll meet in the battle for the Emperor's Road. However, he frowned and said, I don't understand some of the things you said before. What does the Holy Abyss Tower mean? What does the coronation mean? What does the crown mean? Let me tell you. The Crimson Dragon sat down and drank spiritual wine while eating barbecued meat. Then he told Lin Xian everything. Lin Xian was surprised after hearing it. Holy Abyss Ancient City was also an ancient city, but it was even more terrifying than Taiching Ancient City. There were even more ancient families and peerless sects there. There was also a divine object in Holy Abyss Ancient City called the Holy Abyss Tower. It had been passed down since ancient times. No one knew who created it, but it was very mysterious. It was said that Holy Abyss Ancient City was named after it. This was somewhat similar to Qianquan Ancient City. Qianquan Ancient City was related to Emperor Qianquan, and Holy Abyss Ancient City was related to the Holy Abyss Tower. Lin Xian guessed that it was very likely to be related to the ancient emperor Qianquan. The Holy Abyss Tower was a trial and cultivation place. After entering, one would be trained and challenged. If one succeeded, they would obtain heaven-defying opportunities to increase their cultivation and strength. The Holy Abyss Tower had a total of 99 floors. With each level, the difficulty would increase. Even a top-notch expert would only be able to climb a few dozen levels. Once one completed all 99 floors, they would be crowned and become the crown king. This was an unparalleled honor. In history, anyone who passed the 99 floors and became the crown king could be said to be the top geniuses of the world. No one could surpass them. In the future, they would also become a heaven-defying expert, sweeping through a region and being recorded in history. This was equivalent to the most supreme glory and the proof of one's talent. The toad was also surprised after hearing it. Crown king? Was there a double crown king? Triple crown king? The crimson dragon nodded. Don't tell me there is. What's going on? Lin Xian was also surprised. Was the Triple Crown King successfully reaching the top 3 times? The Crimson Dragon nodded. That's right, it's successfully reaching the top 3 times. However, it's not the 3 times you think it is. After successfully reaching the top and becoming the Crown King for the first time, entering again would be 10 times more difficult than before. If one could still reach the top like this, it would be the Double Crown King. The difficulty of entering the Double Crown King would increase by 20 times. Reaching the top again would be the Triple Crown King. Becoming the Crown King was already as difficult as ascending to the heavens, let alone the Double Crown King and the Triple Crown King. Chapter 47-43. Then, has anyone ever broken through to the first crown? How many crowns were there? In history, there were indeed people who broke through to the first crown, double crown, or even triple crown. Of course, the highest was the last great emperor from 40,000 years ago, Emperor Qing. He was the 10-crown king. 10-crown king. Lin Xian gasped. Didn't that mean that the other party had entered 10 times and successfully reached the top? The last time was 100 times more difficult. No wonder this person could become a great emperor. Yes, it was heaven-defying. After him, there hadn't been a great emperor for 30,000 years. What level had Martial Dragon reached? Lin Xian asked. The Crimson Dragon thought for a moment and said. He had checked before, and it was said that he had already reached the 90th floor. It was only a matter of time before he reached the top and became the first crown king. And it seemed that it wouldn't take long for him to reach it. As for how many crowns he could become in the end, it was hard to say. The toad exclaimed, such a person should be unrivaled in the world. However, the Crimson Dragon shook his head. No, he had an opponent. There was even someone whose current record was better than his. What? That was impossible. Someone had surpassed the emperor. The toad was surprised. Even Lin Xian was curious. Who was it? Dark North. He had already reached the 95th floor. His identity was also extraordinary. He was Kuan Pengzi. He was the emperor's son of the great emperor of the Kuan Peng clan, another emperor's son. Lin Xian was shocked. Holy Abyss Ancient City was too extraordinary. One had to know that the strongest in Taiching Ancient City was only the ancient desolate body. But there were actually 2 emperors in Holy Abyss Ancient City. This Kuan Pengzi was very strong, and he had awakened earlier than Martial Dragon, so he was stronger now. Everyone guessed that he might be the first to be crowned and become the first king in this generation. Speaking of which, we suspected 2 people of Long Guang's death. One was Kuan Pengzi, Dark North. The other was the Dragon Prince, Martial Dragon. Because only these two people could threaten and kill Long Guang. What was Long Guang's strength before? Lin Xian asked. His cultivation was at the Saint King realm, and his battle record had already reached the 93rd floor of the Saint Origin Tower. If he didn't die, he would also become a champion. So powerful. Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air. No wonder those elders were so angry. He was indeed a top-notch genius. It was a pity that he had fallen. Kid, are you interested in going to the Holy Abyss ancient city? When the time comes, we'll see just how magical this sacred abyss tower is. Lin Xian said. Of course, he was interested. His eyes shone with a cold light. What kind of scene would it be to compete with the Crown Prince? These people are all in different sections. I wonder which sect you would like to join when the time comes. A sect? Aren't they all from the desolate ancient emperor clan? Lin Xian was shocked. Within the Holy Abyss ancient city, there were 3 ancient orthodoxies that had been passed down for a very long time. They were the Tao sect, Heaven sect, and Earth sect. The Dragon Prince was from the Path sect. Kunpengzi had joined the Sky sect. After entering these 3 ancient orthodoxies, one would be able to obtain powerful resources. Moreover, these 3 orthodoxies had close ties with the desolate ancient families and the great sections. There were many experts in these orthodoxies. They were all disciples of the great sects and the desolate ancient families. They were all geniuses among geniuses. They could even create their own sects and forces. Among them, the force that the Dragon Prince had created in the Path sect was the Dragon Palace. Lin Xian's eyes lit up when he heard this. He was surprised that there was such a thing. He thought for a moment and said, since our target is the Dragon Prince, we should join the Path sect. All right, that's what I think too. The Crimson Dragon nodded and said, after resting for half a month, we'll set off. They were very close to the Path sect's recruitment test this time. The 3 orthodoxies would have a test every year. Those who passed would be able to enter and cultivate as disciples of the orthodoxies. Those who failed would have to wait a year and could only participate again in the 3rd year. Ordinary geniuses were not qualified to enter at all. Only the top geniuses and experts could enter the 3 orthodoxies. Since the decision had been made, Lin Xian and the other 2 began to cultivate at the bottom of the sea. On this day, the first elder found the Crimson Dragon and Lin Xian and said, since you want to join the Path sect, we'll give you an opportunity to increase your strength, especially your dragon power. Young master, you might be able to improve your bloodline power. Then the first elder looked at Lin Xian and said, young man, although you're a human, you have the dragon sword soul. It seems that you've merged with the dragon sword soul. This means that you have the dragon soul. You're half a dragon. This opportunity will be good for you. Thank you. Lin Xian was delighted. The opportunity that the dragon tribe of the Black Sea was talking about would definitely be good. The first elder said, young man, you don't have to thank us. We should be the ones thanking you. If it weren't for you, we would never have known who the murderer was. This time, we'll repay you for your help. The toad also wanted to go, but he wasn't a dragon and didn't have the dragon power, so he couldn't go. After that, he and Little White stayed here. The dragon tribe also provided them with many heavenly treasures. The 2 of them ate to their heart's content and forgot about the matter of fortuitous opportunities. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon followed the first elder forward. Soon, the surrounding figures became fewer and fewer. This seemed to be a forbidden area where no one could come. The Crimson Dragon said, damn. Old man, you're not taking us to that place, are you? Now, the Crimson Dragon had guessed where they were going. The first elder said, that's right. This time, you have 10 days to enter that place. Whether you can get anything after 10 days depends on your luck. What is that place? Lin Xian was curious. The Crimson Dragon said, Dragon Tomb. The Dragon Tomb was the place where the dragon tribe of the Black Sea was buried for generations. This was a forbidden area. Under normal circumstances, it wouldn't be opened. Only extremely terrifying dragon clan powerhouses could be buried here after their deaths. This was also a supreme honor. At this moment, Lin Xian and Little White entered the dragon tomb. In front of them, there was a stone tablet carved by millions of dragons standing there. It was like the hand of a god guarding the dragon tomb. The aura on it was really too strong. The first elder held the dragon court walking stick in his hand to block this aura. The array around them flickered. The first elder stood in front and said, "I'm going to open the dragon tomb. You two go in. It can temper your dragon power and even strengthen your dragon power bloodline or physique. It's up to you what you choose." As he spoke, the dragon thunderstaff in his hand bloomed with light. Endless array formations condensed and swept toward the million dragon steel in front of them. The million dragon steel bloomed with light, and the door of the dragon tomb slowly opened. A terrifying aura filled the air, accompanied by an extremely terrifying power of death. Chapter 47-44. The dragon tomb is open. You can go in. Hearing this, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon took a deep breath and quickly walked in. The aura inside was very terrifying. There were dragon shadows in front, and the door to the dragon tomb was closed. The light dimmed. "Kid, let's each go in a direction." "I'll go this way." The Crimson Dragon waved and walked to one side. Lin Xian walked to the other side. The dragon roared in front of him, and in the next moment, a golden light flashed. A golden dragon appeared between heaven and earth. Its body was tens of thousands of miles long, as if it was a real divine dragon. However, Lin Xian knew that it was just an illusion because these dragon clan members were all dead. In addition to the golden dragon, there was a purple dragon, a dragon with 8 arms and a sword dragon surrounded by sword chi. There were all kinds of forms of the dragon clan here. Lin Xian summoned the great dragon sword soul and merged with him. The great dragon sword soul formed a dragon shadow outside him. At the same time, he circulated the dragon clan's breathing technique. He felt the terrifying killing intent around him disappear. Although it was very stressful, it would not take his life. He began to feel the aura of the dragon clan. Lin Xian took a deep breath. At this moment, he forgot that he was a human. It was as if he had become a dragon. He saw his body grow bigger, turning into 1,000 meters long. His body bloomed with bright golden light. He formed a golden divine dragon, bearing his fangs and brandishing his claws between heaven and earth. This feeling was truly too wondrous. The great dragon sword soul also let out a roar. Lin Xian walked along, passing dragon shadows one after another. The deeper he went, the more terrifying the aura of the dragon clan was. There was a Tyrannosaurus Rex in front of him, standing between heaven and earth. Just the aura alone made Lin Xian unable to move forward. Lin Xian changed direction and continued to walk. However, there was a sword dragon in front of him that swept across heaven and earth. The terrifying sword chi made his hair stand on end. These dragon clan powerhouses must have been unparalleled heroes who swept through the world in the past. Now that he was dead, he still had such power. Lin Xian sat down cross-legged and started to absorb the Tao of dragon aura. Gradually, he realized that his fusion with the great dragon sword soul had become even more perfect. It was as if the great dragon sword soul had become a part of his soul. This feeling could reduce the consumption of his great dragon sword soul. At the same time, he made another shocking discovery, and that was his bloodline. Lin Xian himself didn't have any amazing bloodline. However, after growing to this point, coupled with the fact that he cultivated the super physique, the 9 yang divine body, therefore, his bloodline had long contained boundless power. A drop of golden saint blood could crush mountains and rivers. This type of bloodline was an exceptional bloodline, and it could already be passed down. However, this was not Lin Xian's ultimate bloodline. At this moment in the dragon tomb, his bloodline had undergone some changes. Other than the power of the Nine Sons' divine blood, there was also the power of the dragon clan's bloodline condensing inside. One had to know that the dragon clan's bloodline was unique to the dragon clan and had been passed down through countless generations. It was basically impossible for others to condense the dragon clan's bloodline, no matter how much dragon blood one swallowed. This bloodline couldn't be passed down. But now Lin Xian's situation was different. He seemed to have really condensed the dragon clan's bloodline. No one would believe that a human could condense the dragon clan's bloodline. However, Lin Xian's situation was different. He had the great dragon sword soul and had even fused with it. In addition, there were so many terrifying auras here, so it wasn't impossible for such a bloodline to be born. Moreover, it seemed to be more than one type of dragon bloodline. It seemed to be the bloodline of 10,000 dragons. Lin Xian's body bloomed with endless light. The great dragon sword soul fused with him and let out a dragon's roar. Lin Xian's dragon clan's breathing technique made him completely turn into a god at this moment. The light on his body bloomed, and the surrounding dragon clan's phantoms all flew into his body and fused with it. On the other side, the Crimson Dragon also underwent a bloodline evolution. He was a member of the Divine Dragon Clan. Endless dragon aura surrounded him, causing his divine dragon bloodline to improve further. 10 days passed quickly. A low voice came from the dragon's tomb, and then it slowly opened. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon felt a force repelling them. They knew they couldn't stay any longer. Lin Xian looked at the surrounding Dragon Clan's phantoms and bowed deeply, thanking the Dragon Clan's seniors for giving him strength. The Dragon Clan of the Black Sea will always be my friend. If I'm lucky enough to reach the Emperor Realm in the future, I can protect the Dragon Clan of the Black Sea and become the overlord for 10,000 years. Roar, roar, roar. As Lin Xian's voice fell, the surrounding Dragon Clan's phantoms roared loudly, and the 9 heavens and earth shook. Outside, the first elder and the others were waiting anxiously. Suddenly, a dragon's roar came from the dragon's tomb, causing their blood to boil. What happened inside? Could there be an accident? They were extremely worried. After all, a human had gone in this time. But fortunately, they soon saw Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon coming out safely. They heaved a sigh of relief. The dragon's tomb in front of them slowly closed, and once again fell into silence and deep sleep. What happened before? The second elder asked. The third elder also asked, "How was it? Did the young lord's strength improve?" The Crimson Dragon said, "Feel it." As he spoke, he activated the power of his bloodline, and the dragon aura on his body swept across the 9 heavens. Phantoms of divine dragons circled between heaven and earth. Great, he had indeed become stronger. His bloodline was now no weaker than Long Guang's. They were really overjoyed. The only difference between the Crimson Dragon and Long Guang was the difference in cultivation time and cultivation. In other words, if the Crimson Dragon had enough time, the Crimson Dragon would definitely be able to reach Long Guang's level in the future. He might even be able to grow indefinitely. Then they looked at Lin Xian with anticipation in their eyes. They wondered if this human had made any breakthroughs. I was the one who caused the sound earlier because I promised the seniors of the Dragon Clan that in the future I would reach the Emperor Realm. I would also let the Dragon Clan of the Black Sea stand at the peak of the universe. This was a promise. After all, the Dragon's Tomb was a forbidden area of the Dragon Clan. Other than the clan leaders and young clan leaders of the past who could enter, no one else could. If one wanted to enter, they could only do so after death. Now that Lin Xian could enter as a human, This was simply a peerless gift from the Dragon Clan. The people of the Dragon Clan naturally knew that Lin Xian's strength and talent were unparalleled. They were also betting on his future. It was just that they didn't know if he could become a great emperor. However, when a 9-young divine body grew up, it could also sweep through everything. However, when they saw the scene that Lin Xian displayed, these people of the Dragon Clan were really stunned. Even the Crimson Dragon was shocked. Chapter 47-45. Behind Lin Xian, dragon shadows appeared one after another. There were golden dragons, Stegosaurus, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and other dragon shadows roaring. That aura was terrifying and mysterious. What was going on? The elders of the Dragon Clan were stunned. The Crimson Dragon also said, "Kid, you didn't swallow them all, did you?" Lin Xian said, "I didn't. I seem to have condensed the bloodline of the Dragon Clan." "Let me see." The Great Elder walked over, grabbed Lin Xian's wrist, and carefully sensed it. Then he said, "Can I see your blood?" Lin Xian nodded, cut his palm, and dripped a few drops of his blood. The golden blood was wrapped in a dragon shadow, and it let out a dragon's roar. There was really the power of the Dragon Clan in it. "You actually condensed the bloodline of the Dragon Clan." The Great Elder was shocked. The powerhouses of the Dragon Clan were all stunned. How heaven-defying was this? The other party was just a human. The Crimson Dragon also came over and carefully examined it. Then he said, "It should be because of the great dragon Sword Soul." "Kid, you really have completely merged with the great dragon Sword Soul this time." The Great Elder said with a smile, "Little friend, you will also be a member of the Dragon Clan in the future. I will confer you the title of Young Master of the Dragon Clan, and you will be treated like an elder." "Thank you, Senior." Lin Xian cupped his fists and smiled. With the Crimson Dragon and Lin Xian, the people of the Dragon Clan of the Black Sea seemed to have seen hope. After returning, in the hall, the Toad and Little White were sleeping there, and their bodies were emitting countless rays of light. These two guys had eaten so many heavenly treasures that they were about to vomit. "Get up, we should go." The Crimson Dragon kicked the two of them awake. "Don't disturb my sleep." Little White was very dissatisfied. The Toad also said, "The two of you are back." As he said that, he kept emitting rays of light. "Damn. Why didn't you two eat to death?" The Crimson Dragon said with a look of disdain, "Look, my bloodline has increased." He released his dragon bloodline, and the Toad felt his hair stand on end. He then looked at Lin Xian and asked, "Kid, what about you?" Lin Xian smiled. "Try sensing it." He unleashed his bloodline power, and tens of thousands of dragon shadows floated around him. "What the F *CK? What's wrong with you?" The Toad was stunned. Little White had also woken up. She blinked her large eyes and said, "I think I saw many dragons." Lin Xian said with a smile, "This is my newly condensed dragon race bloodline. In addition to my 9-young divine body, my current bloodline is called 10,000 Dragon Divine Blood." How hateful. I want to go in too. I also want to condense the 10,000 dragon blood. The Toad roared. Lin Xian gave him a slap and stepped aside. The Crimson Dragon also laughed. "A toad like you is not qualified to enter the dragon tomb of our Dragon Clan. All right, get ready. We're leaving in 3 days. Our target is Holy Abyss Ancient City. This time, we're going to conquer that place." 3 days later, the First Elder and the others led them to activate the super teleportation formation and tore open the endless void. They started the teleportation. They were close to Shanghai City, but they were far from Holy Abyss Ancient City. Therefore, it would take a long time to fly over. Perhaps they would miss this year's test. They directly used many resources to activate long-distance teleportation. When they came out again, they had already left the Black Sea and arrived in the vast mountains. They took out a map asked for directions, and set off on the Black Earth. This way, they could shorten the time by several times. Holy Abyss Ancient City was very ancient and mysterious. It was even more terrifying than Taiching Ancient City. There were countless powerful families and sects here. However, there were three places that were incomparably dazzling. They were the Taoist sect, the Celestial sect, and the Terrestrial sect. These three orthodoxies gathered all the powerful people in the world, those who walked out from here. They were existences that could sweep the world, and this time, Holy Abyss Ancient City became incomparably lively because two things were going to happen. The first thing was that the Taoist sect was about to take the test. Countless geniuses who wanted to participate had to come to take the test. If they missed this time, they would have to wait another year. The second thing was even more shocking. Someone was going to be crowned as the Crown King. This was an earth-shattering event that would be recorded in history and looked up to by thousands of generations. When Lin Xian and the others arrived at Holy Abyss Ancient City, they looked at the huge city in front of them and felt emotional. Indeed, this scene was even more majestic than Taiching Ancient City. The Crimson Dragon frowned. That's not right. What's going on this year? Why are there so many people? It's a few hundred times more than before. And some people didn't even have the qualifications to take the test. Indeed, Lin Xian was also puzzled. According to the Crimson Dragon, the people that the three orthodoxies wanted to recruit were the best of the best. However, the people around them weren't weak. They just didn't meet the requirements. Toad stopped someone and said, "Brother, I don't know what's going on here. Are the three orthodoxies recruiting? Damn, where did this monster come from? He scared me to death." A fatty exclaimed. He said, "You guys want to join the three orthodoxies? What a joke." Toad was furious. "How dare you look down on me? Take my divine toad fist. How dare a puny demon be so arrogant in front of me?" That fatty was furious as well. In an instant, they displayed their powerful strength. They even took out dozens of weapons and charged at Yi Shiwen from all directions. "I'm not strong, but I'm rich." "What? My sacred weapons?" Those sacred weapons were indeed terrifying. However, Toad had eaten too many heavenly treasures recently, and his strength had increased greatly. He dodged all the attacks, charged in front of the fatty, and beat him into a pig head. "Brother, I was wrong. I'll change. Please don't hit me." The fatty immediately begged for mercy. He didn't expect this Toad to be so terrifying. "That's it. Say, why are there so many people?" Toad stepped on the fatty and asked coldly, "Brother, which mountain did you guys come from? You don't know about such a big thing." The fatty was shocked. "Someone is going to be crowned as the Crown King." "What?" Toad jumped up. The Crimson Dragon was also shocked. Even Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. He had heard the Crimson Dragon say before, "Does this mean that someone has reached the top of the Sacred Abyss Tower?" The Crimson Dragon asked, "Who is it? Is it Dark North or Martial Dragon?" The fatty's scalp went numb. "How dare you call those two people by their names?" He didn't dare to call them by their names. Instead, he said, "It's Kunpingzi." 6 days ago, he successfully reached the top and stood at the peak of the Sacred Abyss Tower. The heavenly sect wanted to crown him as the Crown King. His statue and name would be engraved on the Sacred Abyss Tower forever. He would be worshipped by future generations. Sure enough, it's Kunpingzi. The Crimson Dragon took a deep breath. Previously, the other party had already reached the 90th floor. Now he had finally reached the 99th floor. It seemed that the Dragon Prince would be there soon. He felt tremendous pressure. Chapter 47-46. Lin Xian also gasped. He had heard the Crimson Dragon talk about it before. The matter between the two of them. He didn't expect that now. They had just arrived at Holy Abyss Ancient City. They heard about Kun Pengzi reaching the top. As expected of the emperor, he was really too strong. The ceremony would be held in half a month. Countless people were about to witness a miracle. Would you like to go and take a look? Half a month? Definitely. Based on their current time, they could finish watching this grand event first, then participate in the Tao School's assessment. There was still half a month left. Lin Xian and the others could take a good look at Holy Abyss Ancient City. Brother, why don't we go together? I have been to this ancient city several times. The fatty looked at Lin Xian and smiled. The toad and the crimson dragon seemed to be beasts. Only the kid in front of him was human, which made him feel very close. This guy is so useless. We don't want him. The crimson dragon shook his head. The fatty's face turned green. Although he wasn't a heaven-defying genius, he was still a top-notch genius. He was actually called a piece of trash. However, he had to admit that these people were really strong and mysterious. Lin Xian smiled. Don't be so harsh. We are unfamiliar with this place. We need this brother to lead the way for us. The fatty's eyes lit up. Don't worry, with you by my side. I will pay for all the expenses in the ancient city. Then we won't stand on ceremony. The crimson dragon also smiled. The toad nodded. I don't know. What are the specialties of Holy Abyss Ancient City? Are there any old herbs that are tens of thousands of years old? The fatty was about to cry. These ancestors are too greedy. How should I address you? The fatty walked up. The fatty was called Nalan Liang, a young master of the Nalan family. The Nalan family was considered a top-notch family. Although it wasn't a remote antiquity family, it wasn't weak. To become a remote antiquity family, apart from having super strength and background, there was another characteristic, which was that it had been passed down for a long time. The Nalan family had only developed in the past few thousand years, so their background and strength weren't strong enough to become a remote antiquity family. However, the Nalan family had developed very rapidly recently. If they could continue, they would become a remote antiquity family in the future. Your name is Nalan Liang? Toad's face was filled with suspicion. This is a woman's name. Brother, you can't be a woman, right? Nalan Liang sighed. Back then, my father really wanted to have a daughter, so he had already thought of a name. Who would have thought that the one who was born would be me? They didn't change my name either. All right, don't mind these trivial matters. Let's go. I'll bring you to the most famous place in Holy Abyss City, White Crane Tower. It was extremely majestic, and it was very famous in the Holy Origin City. Its unique architecture and style made countless people yearn for it. The White Crane Tower was built from the corpse of a great sage. This great sage was a demon sage of the White Crane clan after his death. The corpses were perfectly preserved, and they were used to create this strange pavilion. When Lin Xian and the others arrived and saw this scene, they were also amazed. The pavilion in front was very spectacular. It was very tall, and one could tell at a glance that it was made of bones. It looked like the wings of a white crane. The design was really strange. Nalan Liang said, Brother, you don't know this, but this is really the corpse of a great sage. No way. The Crimson Dragon also went up to take a look, and then he exclaimed, as expected of the Holy Origin City, it was really extravagant. Of course, ordinary people couldn't enter this place, but I can bring you in. They walked forward. Stop, who are you? Seeing the Crimson Dragon and the others walking over, the guards of the White Crane Tower immediately moved out. This wasn't a place where ordinary people could come. When they saw Lin Xian and the others, they shouted coldly. At this moment, Nalan Liang walked out from behind and said, Why, my friends can't enter? So it's young Master Nalan. Please come in. The guards immediately made way. Nalan Liang brought Lin Xian and the others in. Oh, isn't this the young master of the Nalan clan? Why do you still have the face to come? You have already failed twice, and you didn't enter the 3 great inheritances. Now you are preparing for your 3rd failure? I think the Nalan clan's face has been thrown away by you. At this moment, a cold laugh could be heard. Nalan Leong was instantly enraged, and he turned around. So it's you? Damn you, do you want to die? Behind him, there were a few men in white robes with long blades on their backs. They looked extremely cold, and it was obvious that they were top swordsmen. Shi Chongfeng, didn't you fail the previous time as well? What right do you have to talk about me? Shi Chongfeng laughed coldly. I wasn't prepared the previous time, but this time I am fully prepared. I can definitely enter the Dao sect. F*CKU, I will definitely fail this time. Nalan Leong snorted coldly. Who doesn't know how to boast? With your strength, you think you can enter the Dao sect? Of course, because I have invited a big shot this time. Brother Lon, please come out. Shi Chongfeng said respectfully to the private room beside him. A figure walked out from the private room. Fatty gritted his teeth. That was originally my room, but it was taken over by someone else. Who is this? Shi Chongfeng laughed coldly. This was Prince Lansong from the Blue Clan. Seeing Prince Lansong, why aren't you kowtowing? It's actually someone from the Blue Clan? Nalan Leong frowned. The toad at the side asked, is this guy strong? He doesn't look like much. Nalan Leong sighed. The other party is from a clan of the ancients, so that's how it is. The Nalan clan is strong, but compared to the clan of the ancients, they are still lacking. The people from the Heavenly Saber Manor shouted angrily. How dare you be so disrespectful to Prince Lan? Do you want to die? Shi Chongfeng, who was leading the group, frowned. Nalan Leong, look at these strange clothes. They don't seem to be from the Nalan clan. If they didn't have any background, they would have fallen here today. You want to fight with us? Are you worthy? The toad sneered. The Crimson Dragon also looked at them from the corner of his eyes. A few ants, they didn't care about them. Shi Chongfeng and the others were mad with anger. These people were too audacious. Lan Song frowned and said coldly, it seems like this is your first time in the Holy Abyss City. I'm afraid you haven't heard of the strength of the Blue Clan. The toad sneered. Is the clan of the ancients that amazing? It's not like we haven't fought them before. Isn't the Wind Clan also a clan of the ancients? Didn't they still get beaten down by them? What's there to be arrogant about? Are you sure you don't want to die? Lan Song's face darkened. He closed the folding fan in his hand, and a killing intent appeared. The people from the Heavenly Saber sect laughed. These ants, there's no need for Brother Lan to deal with them personally. Shi Chongfeng waved his hand. Instantly, a top swordsman from the Heavenly Saber Manor walked over. Ignorant ants, I'll send you to hell today. He waved his hand, and a saber light flashed. Terrifying laws swept across the area. Chapter 4747. The attack was indeed powerful. It was even more powerful than some of the geniuses from the remote antiquity families in Taiching Ancient City. However, it was nothing in front of Lin Xian and the others. The toad jumped out and said, how dare you compete with me? Go to hell. He slapped out with his palm. Boom. The sound of thunder rang out. Then a figure was sent flying, and the Tao light between heaven and earth shattered. The genius from the Heavenly Saber Mansion flew out of the White Crane Tower. Did someone make a move? The people on the other floors of the White Crane Tower were stunned. They looked over in surprise. It was the Heavenly Saber Mansion. Who did they fight with? The Nalan family? Interesting. These two forces had a grudge against each other before. Discussions broke out one after another. Obviously, someone made a move in the White Crane Tower. No one was surprised. It seemed like the martial arts in Holy Abyss Ancient City was more prosperous. They could make a move at any time. The people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion were stunned. They didn't expect a toad to be so powerful. The White Crane Tower was a place where countless geniuses gathered. If they lost face here, it would spread throughout Holy Abyss, ancient city. At that time, the heavenly saber mansion would become a laughing stock. Lan Song narrowed his eyes. You have some strength. No wonder you dare to fight with me. Tell me your identity. Let's see if you have the qualifications to be my opponent. Nalan Liang, who are they? Shi Changfeng also roared. Nalan Liang was also confused. To be honest, he didn't know who these people were. He only knew that they were fierce. We came from Taiching Ancient City. As for our true identity, you don't have the qualifications to know. The toad snorted. So they came from Taiching Ancient City. The surrounding people were shocked. The people from the heavenly saber mansion frowned. Lan Song nodded. Taiching Ancient City was also an ancient city. There were countless geniuses, but it was still lacking compared to Holy Abyss Ancient City. So, you can show off in Taiching Ancient City. But in Holy Abyss Ancient City, even a dragon has to lie down in front of me. He flapped the folding fan in his hand with supreme confidence. F***CKU. The Crimson Dragon was enraged and roared. The dragon roars of the 9 heavens, 10 earths rang out. Everyone's chi and blood surged, their faces filled with horror. What a powerful bloodline suppression. The faces of the people from the heavenly saber mansion turned pale as they retreated a few steps. Even Lan Song's expression changed. That's right. I'm a member of the Dragon Clan. Didn't you say that you wanted me to lie down? I want to see what qualifications you have to make me lie down in front of you. A cold killing intent appeared in the Crimson Dragon's eyes. He waved his hand and slapped forward. Damn it, you dare to attack me? Lan Song shouted angrily. However, it was useless. The Crimson Dragon was the young master of the dragon race in the Black Sea. Countless people respected him. No one dared to provoke him. The Crimson Dragon didn't care about a clan of the ancients. When the people of the heavenly saber manor saw this scene, they shouted angrily, "Quickly protect young Master Lan Song." 5 figures pulled out their long sabers and charged toward the Crimson Dragon. Divine Dragon Finger. Heaven Transformation Palm. With a finger, the sky was destroyed. On the other side, the Dragon Claw turned into a sky and pressed down. This was the ultimate technique of the Dragon Clan. The people from the heavenly saber mansion were forced to retreat, their chi and blood surging. Shi Changfeng roared and rushed to the back of the Crimson Divine Dragon. You dare to sneak attack? The toad roared and spat out poisonous fog that covered the sky, enveloping Shi Changfeng. Shi Changfeng unleashed a monstrous saber light to defend himself. At the same time, he roared again. From the other floors of the White Crane Mansion, more people from the heavenly saber mansion walked out. When these people saw this, they pulled out their long sabers and walked over. More than 10 people surrounded the Crimson Dragon and the others. Nalan Liang sighed. Damn, so many people came this time. Although Lin Xian and the others were powerful, there were too many of them. With a difference of 10 times, they might not be able to gain any advantage. Therefore, he said, Lin Gongzi, why don't you leave quickly? A wise man knows better than to fight when the odds are against him. Lin Xian smiled. Leave? Why should I leave? What's the use of having more people? They're just a bunch of ants. With that, his figure flashed, and he walked forward. His target was not the people from the heavenly saber mansion, but Lan Song. Lan Song sneered. In his opinion, he didn't need to do anything to deal with these people. The people from the heavenly saber mansion could deal with them, but in the next moment his vision blurred, and he saw a figure appear in front of them. You're courting death. How dare you attack me? Lan Song was furious. He waved his fan. This attack was accompanied by a terrifying frost that froze the world. Lin Xian was instantly frozen. There were hundreds of ice crystals on his body. Seeing this, Lan Song sneered. An ant is an ant. How can you fight me? Before he could finish his words, he saw the hundreds of ice crystals in front of him shatter. A palm grabbed at his head. He quickly retreated and disappeared. However, no matter how he shuttled through the void, the palm easily grabbed his head. In the next moment, a terrifying sword chi surged into his body, shattering his strength and meridians. At the same time, Lin Xian's voice rang out. Everyone stop. Otherwise, this young Master Lan will lose his life. Hearing this voice, everyone was stunned. The people from the heavenly saber mansion turned their heads, and their faces turned pale. They didn't expect that there would be someone who could suppress young Master Lan Sam. Shi Changfeng was even more furious. Kid, let go of young Master Lan Sam quickly. Otherwise, you're dead meat. Lin Xian looked around and smiled faintly. You want to save my life? Fine. You people from the heavenly saber mansion can kneel down and beg me. If I'm in a good mood, I can consider letting him go. What an arrogant kid. The expressions of the surrounding people became very interesting. Those who were able to come here were all geniuses and experts from their families. At this moment, they were all investigating the purpose of these people. However, after looking around, they realized that there was no such person in Holy Abyss Ancient City. As expected, they came from Taiching Ancient City. They didn't know which family or sect they were from. Damn it, are you kidding me? Shi Changfeng roared. As the geniuses of the Heavenly Saber sect, how could they kneel down to others? You're not willing. The toad also laughed. You were so respectful to him before. I thought he was your father. Damn toad. What did you say? The people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion shouted angrily. The toad sent a slap over. What did I say? You're not convinced? You still dare to dodge? If you dodge again, I'll get my companions to crush your head. Let's see if you dodge or not. The face of the person from the Heavenly Saber Mansion turned black. In the next moment, he was slapped to the ground by the toad. Next, the toad and the Crimson Dragon attacked again. The remaining people from the Heavenly Saber sect were all slapped to the ground. The strength of the two was so strong that the faces of those people were smashed. Some of their bodies were torn apart. They were seriously injured. Damn it! Shi Changfeng wanted to roar, but the Crimson Dragon smashed all his teeth with a slap. Then his body was split into two. Chapter 47-48. The toad held the other party's saber and laughed. Aren't you very powerful? Are you looking down on us? Fight back. As he spoke, he slashed out again. Shi Changfeng was about to go crazy. When had he ever been suppressed like this? Damn it! He roared in anger. However, Lan Song roared in front of him. He could feel Lin Xian's killing intent. He didn't want to be torn apart. The people from the Sky Saber sect stopped and retreated with killing intent. However, Lan Song said, All right, my friends, it was my fault before. I have offended you all, but this time, your anger has dissipated. Can you let me go? I promise that our grudge will be written off. Written off? Lin Xian laughed after hearing this. What right do you have to say such words to me? Lan Song's pupils constricted. Is the other party still unwilling to give up? His face was gloomy as he gritted his teeth and said, Brother, you have already offended the people from the Sky Saber Manor. If you attack me again, you will offend our Blue Clan. There will be no place for you in the entire Holy Abyss Ancient City. Threatening me? Lin Xian sneered and waved his hand. Immediately, the other party's bones cracked, and many of them broke. Lan Song's face became extremely ugly. He gritted his teeth so hard that they were about to shatter. Damn it, the other party isn't afraid of my threat. Just when he thought that he was finished, a voice came from outside the White Crane Tower. Let's see who dares to make a move. Then, a few figures walked in. Everyone turned their heads, and realized that the auras of these people were abnormally strong, especially the leader. Brother Baizhen, save me. Lan Song seemed to have seen hope. The surrounding people exclaimed, Baizhen, he's Baizhen from the Dao sect. Many people sucked in a breath of cold air. Lin Xian walked over with a frown. It seemed that the people from the Dao sect had come. Baizhen walked over with the people from the Dao sect. He looked around and frowned slightly. Then he looked at Lin Xian and said coldly, Kid, let them go. There was a command in his words. However, to everyone's surprise, Lin Xian had no intention of letting them go. He asked coldly, Who are you? Were they from the blue race? I'm not. What right do you have to meddle in my affairs? Get lost. Lin Xian sneers previously. The Heavenly Saber Manor and Lan Song relied on their powerful identities to bully and suppress them. They even wanted them to kowtow and kneel. How could Lin Xian let these people off? Now, another person had appeared and directly ordered him to release them? Who does he think he is? Baizhen's face darkened. Seems like you're really ignorant. I'm from the Dao sect. Lin Xian smiled. So what if it was the Dao sect? You just came a few years earlier. Now that I'm here, I can also easily join the Dao sect. This identity doesn't scare me. Countless people were shocked. It seemed like this group of people was here to participate in the Dao sect's test. Baizhen was taken aback. Then he smiled. It seemed that this was a top-notch genius from another place. He was very confident. However, so what if you have joined the Dao sect? I am a member of the Dao sect's Dragon Palace. In his eyes, there was a strong confidence. Some of the genius disciples in the Dao sect could form their own forces. The Dragon Palace was one of them. Moreover, it was the strongest force because the founder of the Dragon Palace was the son of the Dragon Emperor. In the Dao sect, other than the elders, who would dare to go against the Dragon Palace? That was courting death. Dragon Palace. Hearing this name, the Crimson Dragon's pupils constricted. A cold killing intent appeared in his eyes. It was actually related to that Long Wu. Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. He didn't expect to meet someone from the Dragon Palace so soon. They were really arrogant. Kid, I advise you to obediently let them go. I'm not someone you can provoke. The blue race is also not someone you can provoke. This Lan Song's brother is also a genius of the Dragon Palace. Therefore, the outcome of offending us will be very miserable. Is that so? If you had other identities, then I would really let them go. But the Dragon Palace? It's a pity that I won't let them go. As for the reason, it's very simple. This guy said that he's very strong, and even a dragon has to lie down in front of him. I really want to know, how will your Dragon Palace people deal with this? Baizhen's expression changed. A biting cold light appeared in his eyes as he stared at Lan Song. You said that? Lan Song was about to cry. Previously, he was just making a metaphor. Who would have thought that the other party would take it seriously? Furthermore, if these words were to spread to the Dragon Palace, he would be dead for sure. Although his brother was also a member of the Dragon Palace, he couldn't save him because the founder of the Dragon Palace was a member of the Dragon Clan. What a reckless thing. Big brother Baizhen, I was wrong. I am willing to accept the punishment. Please save me. Baizhen said coldly. If he did something wrong, our Dragon Palace would punish him. You don't have the qualifications. Is that so? Then what if I make a move? Lin Xian coldly snorted. With a wave of his hand, an endless amount of sword qi enveloped Lan Song. Lan Song let out a miserable scream. He wanted to escape, but his soul was instantly destroyed. Is he dead? The surrounding people were all stunned. They couldn't believe it. That was a genius of the Blue Clan. He was actually killed in one move. Was this a slap to the Blue Clan's face? Furthermore, Lan Song's brother was from the Dragon Palace. Baizhen was here representing the Dragon Palace. He wanted to release him, but the other party didn't. Was this a challenge to the Dragon Palace? Where did this ferocious person come from? He was too strong. The people of the Heavenly Blade Manor were terrified. They were about to kneel down. What kind of demon king did they provoke? Many people trembled, and Bai Zhen's pupils constricted. You actually killed him? He was really angry. What, do you want to avenge him? I'll give you a chance. Lin Xian looked at Bai Zhen, his body emitting an extremely terrifying sword Dao aura. He was like a peerless sword god. Bai Zhen's face was cold. This guy was able to kill Lan Song in one move. He was very strong, and he didn't even know who the other party was. Who the hell are you? My name is Lin Xian, and I come from Taiching Ancient City. If you want revenge, then do it. Otherwise, scram. Lin Xian. Countless people were shocked as they recalled this name. Someone said, which clan of the ancients was it? A peerless sect? It didn't seem like it. They had never heard of such a top genius. Moreover, what he used before wasn't that kind of family's secret technique. At this moment, someone exclaimed, I remember now. Some time ago, Taiching Ancient City could be said to be surging like a storm. The Heavenly Court appeared, and the Purple Mansion appeared. Later, the Purple Mansion was severely damaged, and the Wind Clan was also attacked. It seemed that there was a young man called Lin Xian among them. They naturally paid attention to the matters of Taiching Ancient City. After all, it was also the primeval city. It was very terrifying. Although it was very far from Holy Abyss Ancient City, the news still spread. They knew about the Heavenly Court and the Purple Mansion. They also knew that there was a key person in these matters called Lin Xian. Chapter 47-49. It can't be, right? That Lin Xian is said to be very terrifying. Would he come here? It's hard to say. Discussions broke out one after another. Bai Zhen furrowed his brows and asked coldly, You're the legendary Lin Xian? That's right, it's me. Lin Xian said proudly. The surrounding people were in an uproar. They all widened their eyes. It's really him. This guy had stirred up a storm in Taiching Ancient City. What's so special about him? The people from Heavenly Blade Manor felt their scalps go numb. It turned out to be such a terrifying guy. They regretted it now because they had kicked an iron plate. Bai Zhen's face was gloomy, but soon he snorted coldly. Kid, so it's you? Do you think you can be arrogant here because you can do whatever you want in Taiching Ancient City? Let me tell you, you're too naive. This is Holy Abyss Ancient City. It's not a place you can imagine. Besides, if you're really that person, then you should be the person from the immortal graveyard that the Purple Mansion mentioned. You have no future at all. Although you're about the same as us and are all top geniuses, we can continue to advance and reach the great sage realm or even higher. But you'll only be a sage king for the rest of your life. Today is your peak. From now on, you'll be going downhill. What right do you have to compete with us? Many people around nodded. That's right. There had been two people from the immortal graveyard since ancient times. Even if they were top geniuses, they still died without a burial ground. There was nothing to look forward to from such a person. Bai Zhen naturally knew that, so he didn't care about it. He sneered. A person like you isn't qualified to enter the Dao sect. Countless people were in an uproar. Bai Zhen said that. Was there really no hope for this kid? At that moment, another loud laughter rang out. The Dao sect doesn't want him, but the Heaven sect does. Then, a group of people walked down from the upper floor. These people were wearing cloud robes. They had an imposing appearance and were extraordinarily mighty. As they walked down, the surrounding energy of heaven and earth boiled. Everyone felt their scalps go numb. Some people exclaimed that they were from the Heaven sect. The leader was actually Jun Mo. Even Bai Zhen frowned. This Jun Mo wasn't simple. In fact, his strength was even stronger than his own. However, he wasn't afraid. Snorting coldly, Bai Zhen smiled and said, What? You want this kind of trash? The Sky Sect had truly declined. Jun Mo Xiao said, "A piece of trash? Could it set off an unparalleled storm? Bai Shun, don't deceive yourself and others." Although he had no future, he was still a top-notch expert. There were so many people from the heavenly Saber Manor, yet they could not take him down. After he finished speaking, he looked at Lin Xian, his eyes shining with starlight. He smiled and said, "You can come to the Sky Sect to take the test. With your strength, I guarantee that you will pass." Everyone was astonished. It seemed that the Heaven Sect thought highly of this person. Lin Xian also looked at him and nodded. Jun Mo smiled. "Don't be in such a hurry to thank me. If you are Lin Xian, then I heard that you obtained an extremely terrifying weapon in the heavenly court called the Heaven Swallowing Jar. Why don't you take it out and let us have a look?" It was said that the Heaven Devouring Jar was an extreme weapon. I wonder if the rumors are true or false. As soon as these words were said, everyone exclaimed again, and their eyes turned red. The Heaven Devouring Jar was a legendary item. Did this kid really obtain it? Lin Xian's face also darkened. He originally thought that the other party was sincerely helping him, but now it seemed that was not the case. The other party was only after the Heaven Devouring Jar. Thinking of this, he said indifferently, "Looking at you, you should be a very powerful genius in the Sky Sect. Thinking about it, you should have cultivated the ultimate techniques of the Sky Sect. Why don't you give me a copy of your ultimate technique and let me have a look?" Jun Mo's face darkened. The people from the Sky Sect snorted coldly. "How dare you? Who do you think you are? You haven't even entered the Sky Sect yet, and you want to see our ultimate technique?" Killing intent appeared between heaven and earth. The toad snorted coldly. "Why, you're not willing? Then who do you think you are? Do we know you? Why should we show you our Heaven-Devouring Jar?" The two sides confronted each other, and the faces of the people from the Sky Sect turned ugly. Jun Mo said coldly, "Young man, I am sincerely helping you. Are you sure you want to refuse me?" Lin Xian said coldly, "Sincerely helping me? If you really wanted to help me, you wouldn't say such things. Who else told you that I wanted to join the Sky Sect? I have no interest in the Sky Sect at all. This time, I am here to join the True Path Sect." "What did you say?" Jun Mo was also angry this time, and a fierce, killing intent appeared in his eyes. Was the other party looking down on the Sky Sect? Damn it. The Sky Sect disciples were all filled with killing intent. The surrounding people were also shocked. This Lin Xian was really too arrogant. In an instant, he had offended 2 out of the 3 major orthodoxies. Did he have a way out in the future? I think he can't even enter a single orthodoxy. Someone sneered. Bai Zhen also laughed. "Jun Mo, looks like this guy doesn't appreciate your kindness. But kid, since you have offended both the Sky Sect and the True Path Sect, let's see how you will proceed from here." Lin Xian also laughed. "You think too highly of yourself. You are just a disciple of the True Path Sect. Do you think you can represent the True Path Sect? You can't stop me from finding the path I want." Lin Xian's eyes were filled with confidence. Was he being looked down on? Bai Zhen was going crazy. He was from the Dragon Palace. Who would dare to look down on him? "Good kid, keep being stubborn. I want to see how you will enter the True Path Sect later." Bai Zhen turned to leave, but after taking a few steps, he stopped and turned back, a cold smile on his face. "Oh, right, I forgot to tell you. This time, the True Path Sect's assessment will be hosted by the Dragon Palace. And I am also one of the participants. When the time comes, I want to see how you will pass through my hands." After saying that, he laughed and left with his men. "Stupid thing. There is a path to heaven. You can go to hell by yourself." Jun Mo snorted and left with his people. Countless people were in an uproar. It's over. This kid is dead. This time, he had offended the Dragon Palace by offending Bai Zhen. How can this kid pass the assessment hosted by the Dragon Palace? The Crimson Dragon also frowned. The situation is not good. Lin Xian laughed. Don't worry. Even heaven and earth can't stop our path, let alone a mere dragon palace. Lin Xian's voice rang out in the white crane tower. Everyone was shocked. Is this the person who has stirred up a storm in Taiching City? He is too confident. Ancestors, hurry up and leave. Nalan Liang walked over and asked Lin Xian and the rest to leave. He booked a mansion in the ancient city and apologized to everyone. It's all because of me that you have offended the Dragon Palace. I'm sorry. Looks like you don't have a chance this time. Wait for the next time. Chapter 4750. You can also participate in the Earth Sex Assessment. Of course, I'll compensate you for your losses. Lin Xian smiled and shook his head. It's okay. You don't have to blame yourself because we're here for the Dragon Palace. Even without you, we'll fight the Dragon Palace one day. Nalan Liang was dumbfounded. Were these people here to make fun of him? Did they know how terrifying the Dragon Palace was? The founder of the Dragon Palace was the Dragon Prince, who could resist the son of the Dragon Emperor. Other than the other princes, no one could. No matter how strong Lin Xian and the others were, they wouldn't even be a match for a finger of the Dragon Palace. Lin Xian didn't explain much. He looked at the Crimson Dragon and said, "It seems that the people of the Dragon Palace are not only arrogant, but also have many experts. We better not reveal our true identities for the time being. Otherwise, they'll take action immediately." This identity is to hide that they're from the Black Sea's dragon tribe. The Crimson Dragon nodded and said, "I understand." For the next few days, Lin Xian and the others stayed in the mansion temporarily. Nalan Liang went to the White Crane restaurant to buy a lot of delicacies and brought them back. They were familiar with each other after a few days of interaction. Although Nalan Liang was a little timid, he was indeed a good person. Lin Xian felt that it was good to be friends with him. Finally, they woke up early in the morning. Today was the day of the grand ceremony. Let's go and see how divine the legendary Kunpingzi is. The group left the mansion and walked towards the Holy Gulf Tower. At this moment, the Holy Gulf Tower stood above the 9 heavens. Countless people had already gathered around it. They weren't ordinary people, but experts. Other than the Holy Gulf ancient city, there were many experts from other places in the continent. There were even many great sages. They wanted to witness this miracle. At the front were some disciples of the heavenly sect. Jun Mo and the others were also there. At this moment, they raised their heads as if they were victorious. They were overjoyed. This was the glory of the heavenly sect. The 3 great orthodoxies were allies, but there were also many conflicts between them. After all, everyone wanted to be above the other 2 great orthodoxies. In the past, the 3 great inheritances all had this type of grand occasion, where someone was crowned as a king. However, in the recent 3,000 years, no one could be crowned again. Now, Kunpingzi had appeared and reached the peak in the shortest amount of time. These 2 sects were extremely excited. Everyone knew that this was only the first coronation. With Kunpingzi's strength, there would definitely be a second and third coronation. On the other side were the people from the Tao sect. They had also arrived. At this moment, the faces of the people from the Tao sect were solemn because they felt that their limelight had been stolen. The True Path sect had the most dazzling genius, the Dragon Prince. His status and bloodline were no weaker than the Kunpangs. It was just that he woke up a little later. At first, they thought that the Dragon Prince might be able to improve by leaps and bounds and be the first to be crowned. But now, it seemed that they were still one step behind him. The feeling of being suppressed by others was really too unpleasant. Opposite them were the people from the Earth sect. The people from the Earth sect were very calm. Because of this incident, they had already given up on participating and competing for the throne. It was not that the Earth sect was weak. The last coronation ceremony 3,000 years ago was the people from the Earth sect. However, this time there were 2 princes from the Tao sect and the Heaven sect, so the Earth sect could not compete. In addition to the people from the 3 great inheritances, the other ancient families and great sects were all here. There were many people from the Taiching ancient city, including the Light Clan and the Sacred Clan. The people from the Pill Cauldron sect were also here. Even the people from the Gu clan and the Longevity Hall, who were near Mount Eternal, were here. The people from the Yi clan were also here. The people from the Purple Mansion were also here. These people were all here to watch the coronation ceremony. Once the princes appeared, they would stir up a storm. No one could ignore them. Lin Xian and the others were also here. They looked at the people from the Purple Mansion and the Wind clan in front of them. They kept it a secret. Now, he only wanted to join the Tao sect and compete with the Dragon Palace. It would be best if he could kill the Dragon Prince. Therefore, he did not want to be attacked by the magistrate and the others. Moreover, there were too many people here. The people from the Purple Mansion were all looking at the sacred Gulf Tower in front of them. They all wanted to see the princes, so no one paid attention to the crowd. Whitey held the spirit fruit and exclaimed, "Ah, there are so many people here." The toad also said, "I wonder when Kunpingzi will come." When the sun hung high in the sky, a figure walked in front of the sacred Gulf Tower. It was an old man. He was the Grand Elder of the Heaven sect. At this moment, he was very happy. He looked at the 8 barren lands and smiled. "Thank you all for coming from all over the world to attend this coronation ceremony. This time, Bei Ming of the Heaven sect has successfully reached the top of the sacred Gulf Tower and been crowned as the King of the Crown." After that, an expert from the sacred Gulf Tower also walked over with a crown in his hand. He released a terrifying aura. At the same time, the clouds in the sky changed. A figure like a god fiend descended from the sky with a terrifying yin and yang aura. Everyone felt a wave of pressure, as if their blood vessels had frozen. So powerful. Is this the bloodline of the princes? It's really terrifying. Countless people were shocked. In the crowd, the Crimson Dragon's bloodline let out a low roar. Lin Xian did the same. The great dragon sword soul seemed to want to break through the sky. However, it was suppressed by the 2 of them. Now was not the time to fight. Lin Xian's eyes emitted a golden light as he looked forward. The yin and yang aura was so terrifying. Is this the princes? The Crimson Dragon said that the Kunping had 2 forms and it controlled the yin and yang laws of the world. It could be said that it was extremely powerful. Lin Xian took a deep breath. He also had the yin and yang laws, and he cultivated the Tai Chi art. He wondered how it would compare to the other party's great emperor bloodline. Lin Xian felt a hot battle intent. Next, it was the coronation. The expert of the Sacred Origin Tower personally placed the crown on Bei Ming's head. On Bei Ming's back, there were black and white wings that emitted a terrifying yin and yang aura. He was like a supreme god king, accepting everyone's worship at this moment. At the same time, another statue appeared in the main hall of the Sacred Gulf Tower. It was a statue of Bei Ming. At the same time, Bei Ming's name would be engraved on the Sacred Gulf Tower. Congratulations, Kunpingzi. Congratulations, Tianzong. The surrounding clan of the ancients and the peerless sects sent experts to congratulate them. The gifts alone were piled up like a mountain. At this moment, it seemed that Tianzong was the only one among the 3 great orthodoxies. Looking at this scene, Lin Xian clenched his fists. One day, he would also reach the peak. Just as countless people were worshipping, a terrifying power suddenly erupted between heaven and earth. Immediately after, the roar of thousands of dragons was heard. Countless people were shocked and looked up at the sky. What happened? Chapter 4751. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon's expressions also changed. They felt that the bloodlines in their bodies seemed to be about to erupt. It was a powerhouse of the dragon race. The two of them looked at each other. To be able to make their bloodlines so uneasy, could it be? The people of the Path sect raised their heads, and the people of the Dragon Palace exclaimed. It was the prince. The people of the Sky sect were also in an uproar. Dark North wore a crown on his head and looked up at the sky. His black and white eyes pierced through the 9 heavens. A figure appeared from the void. He was wearing a dragon robe. His face was handsome, and there were tens of thousands of dragons floating around him. It was as if the Dragon Emperor had come out, and he was extremely powerful. Who was this person? How terrifying! The people from the other cities were shocked. Why did they feel that this person's aura was not weaker than Kunpeng's at all? The people of Holy Abyss, ancient city, exclaimed. It was him. The Dragon Prince had really come. Previously, they didn't see the Dragon Prince in the Path sect and thought that he wouldn't come. Who would have thought that he would come at the last moment? Kunpeng looked at the sky and said indifferently, You're too late. Dark North, don't be arrogant. I was in seclusion before, so I didn't break through to the peak. I didn't expect you to beat me to it. However, if we really compete, I might not lose to you. Do you dare to fight? The Dragon Prince snorted coldly. Tens of thousands of dragons gathered, forming a dragon spear that suppressed heaven and earth. The long spear pointed downward, and the dragon aura on his body continued to erupt. At this moment, the 9 heavens and 10 lands were collapsing. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Could it be that a war was about to break out? Was there going to be a peak battle between the 2 princes? This guy was too strong. The toad exclaimed. The Crimson Dragon's eyes were filled with extremely cold, killing intent. Was this the Dragon Prince? He was the one who killed Long Guang. He was also the target of his killing intent. Lin Xian's expression was also solemn, although he had entered the dragon tomb before and obtained the divine dragon blood. He still felt the suppression from the bloodline when facing the prince. The great dragon sword soul in his body also let out a ferocious roar to destroy this aura. Too strong. Lin Xian clenched his fists. The imperial prince's bloodline surpassed everything. It was stronger than anyone he had ever seen. In fact, his bloodline and physique were vastly superior to that of Leaf Daudenier, Radiance, and the others. However, he was not afraid. One day, he would trample the other party beneath his feet. Thinking of this, he reached out a hand and pressed down on the Crimson Dragon, suppressing the aura of the Way of the Dragon in its body. Don't get too excited. Now is not the time. In front of them, Kunpeng's black and white wings flapped behind his back. Yin and Yang Qi condensed, and at the same time, a terrifying extreme Dao bloodline appeared. The clash of the bloodlines of the 2 princes was like a battle between 2 great emperors. The Sky Sect's people's expressions changed. The Sky Sect's great elder said no. Today was their moment of glory. How could they allow others to disturb them? Kunpeng waved his hand and stopped the first elder. Then he looked at the sky and said coldly, Longwu, you're too late. You're already behind me. The current you is no longer qualified for me to make a move. What did you say? Dragon Prince roared. 10,000 dragons roared. Was the other party looking down on him? A wisp of killing intent appeared on his body, piercing through the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Kunpeng said coldly, If you want to fight me, you'll have to reach the peak of the Holy Gulf Tower first, and come back after you've been crowned. Fine, just you wait. When I'm crowned, it will be the time of your death. The Dragon Prince withdrew his dragon spear, then turned around, broke through the void, and left. They didn't fight. Countless people sighed. But they also understood that the meaning of the battle between the two princes was too different. Perhaps they would have to wait until the coronation of the Dragon Prince, and then they would have to fight. Let's go. Lin Xian left with the Crimson Dragon, Little White, and the others. There was no need to watch what happened next. Today, he had come to witness the glory of the two princes. He had already seen it. He felt the pressure. He wanted to break through again. He wanted to enter the True Path sect first, and then climb the Holy Gulf Tower. He wanted to reach the peak too. When Nalan Liang returned to his residence, he realized that Lin Xian and the others were already cultivating. He exclaimed, "You guys are here so early?" The event had just ended. Lin Xian opened his eyes and said, "What happened next is too boring. We're going to prepare ourselves for the upcoming test. Are you guys really going to join the Tao sect?" Nalan Liang's face changed. He said, "Bai Zhen has already said that this time the Dragon Palace will be hosting. He will definitely target you guys. When the time comes, not only will you fail, your life might even be in danger. I've already made up my mind. You don't have to persuade me anymore. You have to prepare well. Otherwise, you'll really become the laughingstock of the family." Hearing this, Nalan Liang sighed. "Maybe I really can enter the Tao sect with my talent. If I can't do it this time, I don't plan to participate. Anyway, my family is very strong." Lin Xian said, "Don't be discouraged. When the time comes, follow me. I guarantee that you'll pass." The heroes thanked him. Nalan Liang smiled. He didn't take it seriously, because in his opinion, Lin Xian and the others had offended Bai Zhen. It was impossible for them to pass. He didn't have much hope. Lin Xian smiled too. Without saying anything, he closed his eyes again. A few days later, they were all in peak condition. Some of the people who came to participate in the Holy Abyss ancient city had already left and returned to other parts of the world. At the same time, some of them stayed because the test of the three orthodoxies was about to begin. While everyone was talking about the coronation, they were also preparing anxiously. Finally, on this day, Lin Xian opened his eyes. He and the Crimson Dragon set off for the Tao sect again. The Holy Abyss ancient city was very big. It was almost the size of a country. The Tao sect was in the east of the ancient city. Along the way, they saw many people flying in that direction. They were probably here to participate in the test. Among them, Nalan Liang met some familiar faces. It was obvious that some of the losers were here again. Lin Xian was also looking around. Suddenly, he stopped and looked in a direction. There was a figure over there. He was flying very fast. However, he wasn't flying towards the east. Instead, he was flying towards the south. Lin Xian shouted, "Wu Dao!" The figure in front stopped and turned around. There were a few figures beside Yi Wu Dao. They stopped as well. They were puzzled. "What's wrong with Brother Yi?" Yi Wu Dao said that he saw an old friend. His body flashed, and he flew forward. The people beside him followed. Yi Wu Dao came to Lin Xian and smiled. "You're really here. How is it? Have you decided which orthodoxy you want to join?" Lin Xian smiled. He said, "I'm going to the Tao sect." "What about you?" Yi Wu Dao said, "Heaven sect. My goal is Kunpingzi. More or less. My goal is the Dragon Prince." The two looked at each other and smiled. "Time is running out. We'll split up first. I'll wait for your good news." Lin Xian waved his hand. Yi Wu Dao said, "We'll meet again at the St. Origin Tower." The two of them flew in different directions. The young disciple beside Yi Wu Dao asked, "Brother Yi, who is he? How dare he target the Dragon Prince?" Chapter 4752. The Dragon Prince was an imperial prince. Yi Wu Dao had the sacred body of the ancients, which was why he dared to have such a goal. Who was the other party? His name is Lin Xian, and he's no weaker than me. In fact, he might even be a bit stronger. The young geniuses around him could not believe it. Stronger than Yu Dao? When they heard the name Lin Xian, they all gasped. It turned out that he was the one who stirred up a storm in Taiching Ancient City. They did not expect that even such a person would come to support the ancient city. Lin Xian continued to fly. During this time, he met some people such as Guang Ming from the Light Clan. He also had the body of the ancients. It seemed that he also wanted to compete here. I wonder which place he wants to join. In fact, it was not just Guang Ming. There were some old friends that Lin Xian did not see. Two figures appeared in the Earth sect. One of them was surrounded by a sky full of gods and demons, looking very terrifying. If Lin Xian were here, he would be surprised because that person was Yao Guang. As one of the successors of the Purple Mansion, Yao Guang was also participating. It was unbelievable. Other than him, there was another person who joined the Earth sect. That person was Gufeng. This guy was previously grounded by his family because he challenged Lin Xian. Now, he was finally released. His face was cold. He had not shown his talent before. This time, he was going to make a name for himself. Thinking of this, the power of space in his body became even more terrifying. Many people came from the Path sect. When Lin Xian and the others landed, the others looked over. Then, they stopped paying attention. Because of the Dragon Palace, Lin Xian and the others restrained their power. Therefore, everyone thought that Lin Xian and the others were just ordinary geniuses. In fact, when they saw Nalan Liang standing beside Lin Xian, they all started laughing. Nalan Liang had already failed twice. Such a person probably had no hope this time. Lin Xian and the others who wanted to be friends with Nalan Liang did not have a chance. Toad gritted his teeth and wanted to refute. Lin Xian waved his hand and said, "Forget it. When the results are out, they will know who is the laughable one." Did this brat really come? Shi Changfeng gritted his teeth as he looked at the backs of Lin Xian and the others. He really couldn't figure out why these guys dared to come here. Some people were astonished that Brother Changfeng recognized them. Shi Changfeng said, "They were more than acquaintances. Do you have a grudge against him?" A blue-robed man laughed. "When the time comes, I can help you get rid of this brat." His eyes were filled with confidence. At this moment, cold air filled the air on the other side. The surroundings were sealed in ice. Everyone felt their hair stand on end. They all circulated their laws to resist the chill. Lin Xian's body was surrounded by sword radiance, cutting off the chill. At the same time, he was surprised that an expert had come. Furthermore, he was an expert of the ice element. In the next moment, he saw a woman in ice armor flying through the air. She was like an ice goddess. Not only was she powerful, but she was also extremely beautiful. She had a cold and noble aura, which attracted the attention of countless people. Immediately, someone exclaimed, "It was Lan Jiu." The rumors were true. She really came to participate. Oh no, she was the little princess of the Blue Clan. Nalan Liang saw this scene and said, "Brother, let's quickly retreat. Don't let her discover us." Lin Xian had killed a member of the Blue Clan. Now that he was discovered by the other party's geniuses, they would definitely fight. Lin Xian didn't move. He stood with his hands behind his back. No one could make him retreat in fear. Fairy Jiu, many young geniuses walked over and greeted her with a smile. Lan Jiu just nodded coldly, as if she didn't care. Those geniuses' faces were a little ugly, but no one dared to do anything, because Lan Jiu was very strong, and she was the little princess of a clan of the ancients. Another important point was that he had an older brother called Lan Zilu who had joined the Dao sect and successfully entered the Dragon Palace. He was considered a core member of the Dragon Palace. Who dared to provoke such a person? If they offended Lan Jiu, even if they joined the Dao sect in the future, they wouldn't be able to survive. Lan Jiu stood there like a supreme queen, looking down on the world. Suddenly, she frowned and looked in Lin Xian's direction. Her eyes were filled with a cold light. Lin Xian's surroundings were frozen. Nalan Liang felt his hair stand on end and quickly blocked it. Lin Xian's eyes were also filled with coldness. The 9 suns' Saint Flame swept around and blocked the ice. The toad roared, "What? You want to fight us? Come on, do you think I'm afraid of you?" The surrounding people were going crazy. Who was this person? He actually dared to challenge Lan Jiyu. Did he want to die? Shi Changfeng and the others were stunned as well. Soon after, a smirk appeared on their faces. This brat was dead meat. The blue-robed man from before also smiled. "Stupid thing. Looks like I don't have to do anything." Lan Jiyu walked over and looked at Lin Xian. She frowned. "I can feel the blood of the Blue Clan in you. Have you ever hurt a disciple of the Blue Clan?" Her soul was pretty strong. Lin Xian was surprised that she could sense it. He had already dealt with it well. He nodded. He didn't deny it. Previously in the White Crane Tower, there was a guy who recklessly challenged me. In the end, he was killed by me. I think he was from the Blue Clan. Lin Xian said it casually, but it was like a bolt from the blue in everyone's ears. Everyone was stunned. This guy actually killed a disciple of the Blue Clan. The blue-robed man standing beside, Shi Changfeng, also narrowed his eyes with a smear of shock. Even he didn't dare to offend the Blue Clan, but Lin Xian dared to kill them. How ruthless was he? Did he dare to challenge such a person? He was scared, but soon he sneered. He knew that Lin Xian was dead for sure. The experts of the Blue Clan beside Lan Jiyu were also enraged. They all unleashed their terrifying ice. "Kid, you dare to kill a disciple of the Blue Clan? Kneel down and accept your death. How arrogant!" Lin Xian sneered. "You don't even ask for the reason? I killed him because he deserved to die. If you want to fight, I'll send you to hell too. Just based on a few ants like you?" Lan Jiyu's lips curled up in disdain. At this moment, many young geniuses felt that this was a good opportunity. They all walked up. "Fairy Jiyu, ants like them aren't worth your time. Let me help you." Many of them had killing intent in their eyes. "Let's do it," Lan Jiyu said indifferently. The people in front of her were indeed not qualified for her to make a move. The surrounding geniuses sneered. "Kid, you can only blame yourself for offending the Blue Clan. Now you can go to hell obediently." Their bodies emitted terrifying laws. The others shook their heads and sighed. They knew that Lin Xian and the others were unlucky. Chapter 4753. At this moment, the sound of a bell rang from afar. At the same time, a loud voice was heard. Now, the path sex test had begun. Everyone who was going to take part in the test immediately entered the test grounds. In front of them, a door opened. At the same time, a few doors appeared on both sides. Each door corresponded to the cultivation level of a Holy King beginner, Middle Holy King, Late Holy King, Peak Holy King, and even Great Saints. They would all enter their respective test grounds. The path sex test was to test one's strength and talent. Every test was a competition between people of the same cultivation level. Even weapons couldn't be used. This was to ensure fairness. Between heaven and earth, the bell rang 9 times. Everyone's expression changed. They knew that they couldn't delay any longer. They all flew into the sky. Some people looked at Lin Xian and sneered. "Kid, you're lucky. You can live longer. But you're also a Middle Holy King. We'll enter the same test grounds, unless you're a coward and don't dare to enter. If you meet us there, we'll let you know what it means to live a life worse than death." After that, they all flew into the sky and entered the second door. The Crimson Dragon snorted. "You're lucky. You can live longer." Then he looked at Lin Xian and said, "Kid, let's go." Lin Xian nodded and kept Little White. Then the Crimson Dragon, and Nail and Liang walked towards the second door. At the same time, he gave each of them an array. After entering, we might be randomly teleported. So, we'll meet up first and then attack together. After all, this test was different from the previous ones. They had offended the Dragon Palace and the Blue Clan. These people might join forces to attack them. If they acted alone, it would be too dangerous. Lin Xian was worried about the safety of the Crimson Dragon and the others. So, he decided to meet up with them. Don't worry, after we enter, we'll use the array to search for you. The Crimson Dragon and the others took the array and nodded. Nail and Liang prayed in her heart. She didn't want to succeed. She just wanted to be defeated safely. After they entered, they were teleported to different places. Lin Xian's figure appeared. He looked around and found that this was an independent space. It should be a place specially opened up by the Dao sect to conduct trials. The second Dao sect's test was for mid-stage Saint Kings. These people were all geniuses, so it wasn't a problem for them to fight against cultivators of a higher level. However, they weren't any weaker than ordinary late-stage Saint Kings or even peak Saint Kings. Some of them could even kill peak Saint Kings. This was the capital of a genius. Even so, not everyone was able to enter the Dao sect. Only a small number of people were able to pass each time. The number was so small that it made one feel despair. In the heavenly Dao sect, Tianxing carried a long saber on his back as he flew carefully. He had followed Shi Changfeng here. However, due to the random teleportation, they had all been separated. At this moment, he was walking in the forest when suddenly the mountain split open and a hand reached out to grab him. Damn it! The divine saber was unsheathed. Tianxing shouted angrily as he pulled out his saber and slashed out. This was the Heavenly Saber Mansion's ultimate technique. His saber could kill a late-stage Saint King. However, that enormous stone hand was truly too frightening. With a single strike, it shattered his blade light and sent him flying. Then, his body became dim as he was teleported out. Damn it, how could this be? Tianxing roared. He was full of hope and thought that he could show off his skills. Who would have thought that he would be sent out not long after entering? He didn't even know who the enemy was. Not only him, but many other people had already come out. When they came out, they were all confused. The blue-robed man, who had been standing with Shi Changfeng, also went out alone. There was an extremely terrifying star on his body that was shining brightly. Suddenly, he realized that there was an extremely terrifying aura between heaven and earth. It condensed and formed a long spear. It shrouded him. Damn it, he quickly retreated. The starlight in the sky turned into shooting stars. However, he couldn't dodge it, so he could only fight back. He formed a seal with his palms, and the starlight formed a star diagram as he attacked. It collided with the divine sword that fell from the sky. In the next moment, his arm shattered and turned into a bloody mist. He was eliminated. How could this be? After he came out, he roared to the sky. He couldn't even block a single move. Damn it, it was really too embarrassing. Before he came, he was full of confidence and didn't put anything in his eyes. But after he went in, he realized that his strength wasn't as strong as he thought. He couldn't even withstand a single blow. How could this be? He started to doubt his life. Outside, there were many people watching the battle. Although they couldn't see the people inside, they could see the defeated expression of those who came out. Among them, some people looked at the blue-robed man and laughed. This guy was probably going crazy. Sigh. There was nothing they could do. Geniuses were worse than cabbages here. Only the geniuses of the three great orthodoxies could enter. There was no hope for the others. Sure enough, more and more challengers came out. Some of them went crazy and couldn't believe it. Some roared to the sky and even wanted to rush back, but they were turned into bloody mist by a force. Everyone's scalp went numb, and they didn't dare to be presumptuous anymore. They could only grit their teeth and hope to come back the year after next. In a valley of the True Path sect, a few figures stood in the air. There was a screen of light in front of them. At that moment, it was displaying the scene inside the trial grounds. The leader of the group was a man with a biting cold aura, as if he was the king of ice. There were many people standing beside him. They had different expressions, but they were all outstanding and had a cold aura. Moreover, they all had a dragon shadow on them. They were from the True Path sect, and they were also from the Dragon Palace. The man leading the group was called Lon Zilu. At this moment, he was in charge of the test in the second door. The geniuses this time weren't very good. Someone beside him shook his head. Another person laughed. Although there are few geniuses, there are still some, such as Sister Jiu. She is in the second door. I think with her strength, she can pass easily. Speaking of this, he looked at the man in front of him. Senior Brother Zilu, your sister is also a top genius. After she enters, she can come to the Dragon Palace directly. That's right, the others also agreed. The man in front turned his head and laughed. Jiu is talented, but she still needs to temper her princess temper. Moreover, the Dragon Palace has its own rules. It can't be broken just because she is my sister. However, even if we follow the rules, it shouldn't be a problem for my sister to enter the Dragon Palace. Chapter 4754. His words were filled with confidence because he was very confident in his younger sister. Lon Jiu was extremely formidable indeed. Everywhere he passed, the heavens and the earth were sealed in ice. It was even to the extent that no one was willing to be a match for him. She'd gathered a group of followers to help her resist danger. Just like that, he walked all along the way. He was extremely swift. The members of the Dragon Palace watched this scene through the formation, and they nodded incessantly. Suddenly, Bai Zhen frowned and pointed at a figure on the formation. Senior Brother Zilu, it's that fellow. He challenged our Dragon Palace, and he even killed a genius of the Blue Clan. As soon as these words were spoken, the expressions of the members of the Dragon Palace changed, and all of them stared at the figure on the formation. Lon Zilu's face fell while a trace of a piercingly cold glow erupted from his eyes. He dared to kill a cultivator of his clan? He really was courting death. Senior Brother Zilu, let me deal with him for you. Right, that kid doesn't have the qualifications to enter our Dao sect. Many voices resounded. However, one of them frowned. He said, even though that's the case, we're presiding over the test now. If we act against him now, then it would be slightly unfair to him. Wenren, are you challenging Senior Brother Zilu? Bai Zhen laughed coldly. The others had hostile expressions as well. Wenren said, I naturally don't interfere in the matters of Senior Brother Zilu's clan. But this is a test after all. Bai Zhen and the others had gloomy expressions, and they intended to say something. However, Lon Zilu waved his hand and stopped everyone. All right, Wenren is right. This is a test indeed. However, I won't let that kid off. A strand of piercingly cold killing intent appeared in his eyes. A wisp of a smile arose on the corners of Bai Zhen's mouth when he heard this. He understood that Wenrenyu's words had made his attitude clear, but it also meant that it wasn't convenient for him to make a move. So, he needed someone to help him. Bai Zhen decided to make a move. Even though they were both members of the Dragon Palace, his status was too inferior when compared to Lon Zilu. If he was able to curry favor with Lon Zilu, then he wouldn't hesitate to do anything. Moreover, he'd made preparations a long time ago. He'd notified some people who were participating in the test to make a move against Lin Xian and the others. It was even to the extent that he'd snuck a group in. These people should be making a move now. The Crimson Dragon, Toad, and Nalan Liang were teleported to different places. The strength of the Crimson Dragon was extremely strong, so even if it acted alone, it was not afraid at all. His speed was extremely fast. At the same time, he took out a spell formation. The spell formation flickered with light as he rapidly converged it. Coax. The earth split open as a long sword quickly struck out and slashed at the Crimson Dragon. The Crimson Dragon swayed its body, and with a swing of its tail, it split the enemy into two halves. That silhouette quickly retreated. His body was shattered, and his face was filled with shock. What a powerful physique. That sword of his was a sure-kill sword. Even a late-stage Saint King would have died without a doubt, but the other party was completely fine. Get out of my sight. The dark red divine dragon roared furiously, and the roar of the dragon tore the other party's body into pieces. That person's face was filled with terror. Too powerful, he quickly fled. However, it was shattered by a finger. With a wave of his dragon claw, the opponent's soul was completely destroyed. A mere ant dared to fight against Ben Huang? The Crimson Dragon sneered. You are quite powerful, but so what? Between heaven and earth, a cold voice rang out. Then, 6 silhouettes appeared in the surroundings with terrifying, murderous intent. Terrifying precepts covered their faces. Who are you? The Crimson Dragon frowned and asked. One of them laughed and said, We are the ones who will kill you. He stretched out his palm, which was filled with thunderbolts. He struck the void, causing the entire sky to shatter as he charged towards the Crimson Dragon. Another person took out a long sword, which was filled with poison. As long as a Saint King touched a little bit of it, he would die without a doubt. The last person formed a saint's domain. A dense fog appeared in the sky, blocking all sight and even suppressing souls. Attack. With a low roar, the 6 of them attacked together. Heaven Transformation Palm. The Crimson Dragon roared and waved its claws. The huge hand of the dragon covered the sky and turned into a piece of the sky, directly tearing the opponent's body apart. At the same time, the aura of the dragon condensed on his body. It turned into endless dragon knives, slashing in all directions. These 6 people were all top geniuses, but they could not suppress the Crimson Dragon at all. In fact, the Crimson Dragon even had the upper hand, injuring 6 of them, and the other 4 were pale. Damn it, he was actually so strong. Don't worry, I will help you. The 7th person walked over. This person had a rotten aura, as if he was a corpse. Some parts of his body were even wrapped in bandages. Green light bloomed in his eyes, and then his glabella split open. An ancient coffin appeared with a gloomy and cold power on it. The ancient coffin opened, and one figure after another appeared. These people were also extremely rotten. Obviously, they were corpses that had been controlled by someone. A total of 49 corpses stood up, and their eyes bloomed with green light. They seemed to have crawled out of hell and quickly charged towards the Crimson Dragon. These people were also powerful Saint Kings when they were alive. After they died, they were controlled, and some of their supernatural powers were even preserved. For a moment, it was extremely terrifying. The Crimson Dragon was attacked by more than 50 people. It could be said that it was extremely dangerous. Roar. The Crimson Dragon was also furious. He roared and turned into his dragon form. His body grew to tens of thousands of miles long, and he started to sweep in all directions. A huge battle erupted in an instant, and it was extremely intense. On the other side, the toad felt the aura, and its expression changed. Naylan Liang exclaimed. He also moved quickly. He found the toad first, and then he charged forward and attacked quickly. Naylan Liang was shocked. Damn it, the number of people is wrong. I have participated twice before, so I know that there are usually not so many people participating in the test. How did these people get in? The toad gritted its teeth. Damn it, it was definitely the Dragon Palace. They were the hosts, so it was no problem for them to secretly let some people in. These were all people that they had arranged. It was indeed correct. Baizhen looked at the array and smiled. Let's see how you all will die this time. Lon Zilu looked at the array and frowned. This is the dragon race. Is it okay to attack like this? He looked at Baizhen. Baizhen said, Senior Brother Zilu, don't worry. I have already asked around. They are not from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Moreover, I have already stated my identity. Our dragon palace was built by the Dragon Prince, but they still dared to challenge us. It was obvious that they didn't belong to the Dragon Prince's family. Since that was the case, there was no need for them to exist. There were many dragon race members, and they couldn't be respectful to everyone. They only submitted to the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. As for the other dragon race members, if they dared to challenge them, they would kill them. Lonzilla nodded and didn't ask anything else. To him, these people were definitely going to die. Chapter 4755. The Crimson Dragon was in a bad situation. He was being attacked by more than 50 experts. No matter how strong he was, he couldn't resist. He was dodging quickly, but he didn't retreat at all. His eyes were red. He knew that these people were sent by the Dragon Palace. Since that was the case, he didn't need to hold back. He used all kinds of killer moves. In a short time, more than a dozen figures died. Moreover, he was also injured. In addition, these people used poison, which caused him to suffer internal injuries. The poison broke out, and he felt his strength weakening. When the toad saw this scene, it roared, "You're courting death. I'm your ancestor when it comes to poison." He instantly spat out a poisonous mist that filled the sky and shrouded the surroundings. Not good. Dodge quickly. These people opened their sacred domains to resist. The toad came to the Crimson Dragon's side and asked, "Are you okay?" The Crimson Dragon said, "I won't die from this small injury. I'll kill them all today." "Damn fatty, why aren't you coming over?" The toad roared. Nalan Liang sighed, but then he gritted his teeth and rushed over. "Okay, the three of us will fight our way out." The three of them charged. The mysterious people sneered. One of them had green light in his eyes. He controlled his corpses and moved quickly. The others attacked from afar. It was a good combination. On the other side, Lin Xian frowned. He saw that the three light spots on the array had gathered, but they didn't move. He had a bad feeling. He guessed that the three of them might be surrounded and couldn't escape. Therefore, with a flash of his body, he flew toward the location indicated by the formation. "Don't go. Stay." Between heaven and earth, saber lights flashed. The people of the heavenly saber mansion walked out and blocked Lin Xian's path. 8 people appeared in front of Lin Xian, while another 8 appeared behind him. 16 people surrounded Lin Xian. Lin Xian frowned. "Where's Shi Changfeng from the heavenly saber mansion? Tell him to come out." The leader sneered. "Senior Brother Changfeng has already brought people to kill your companions. Your companions must have gone to hell by now. We'll send you to hell to meet your companions. Attack." With a furious shout, the 16 people quickly moved out. Every one of them was a powerful bladesman. Now that they made their move, it was truly horrifying. Lin Xian's face sank. It seems that the Crimson Dragon situation is very bad. He had to end the battle quickly and then go there to provide support. Lin Xian's eyes exploded with a terrifying light. Endless sword chi rushed out of his body and swept through the 9 heavens. "Kill!" With a roar, he transformed into a sword god and rushed over. The people from the heavenly saber manor used their peerless saber techniques to fight back. Between heaven and earth, the sound of swords and sabers clashing rang out, producing thunderous sounds. It was as if the Milky Way was flowing backward. The destructive power swept through everything. When the other examinees felt this aura, their scalps went numb, and they quickly dodged. No one dared to approach. The 16 bladesmen from the Heavenly Saber Mansion were surrounded by peerless saber light. They formed the peerless Great Heavenly Saber Array. They wanted to completely suppress Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian was really too strong. His sword Qi was like a divine sword. With a slash of his sword, the saber light that filled the sky kept shattering. Man Ruler Seal. With a palm strike, 2 peerless bladesmen turned into blood mist. At the same time, Lin Xian waved his long sword and formed the Dragon Elephant Finger. This sword was accompanied by the phantom of the Dragon Elephant between heaven and earth. The bodies of the 3 peerless bladesmen were torn to pieces. Kill. Kill. Lin Xian was filled with killing intent. He had nothing to say now. He had to send these people to hell. The power on his body became more and more terrifying. The people around him became terrified. Damn it, the other party is too strong. The man in the lead shouted angrily, "Don't hold back. Use the Heavenly Saber Totem. We must kill him." Endless doubt patterns appeared on the 16 people and quickly condensed. They formed the most terrifying peerless technique, the Heavenly Saber Totem. Each of them turned into a heavenly saber. They became one with the saber and rushed over quickly. The phantom of the Dragon Elephant in the sky was completely pierced through by them and disappeared. They rushed to Lin Xian's side and attacked Lin Xian. Lin Xian's body swayed and kept retreating. Great, we can take him down in one go. The man in the lead laughed loudly. His whole body was incomparably powerful, as if he had turned into a peerless divine saber. Take me down? With just you guys? Lin Xian snorted coldly. Great wilderness hunter hand, tearing the sky with both hands. A terrifying crack spread forward and instantly struck the man in the lead. The man was sent flying. Cracks appeared on his body. The terrifying saber pattern also disappeared quickly. Damn it, how is this possible? After using the Heavenly Saber Totem, their bodies were so strong that they were simply invincible. But now they couldn't block the other party's attack. I don't believe it. He attacked again. Lin Xian clenched his hand into a fist and threw out a punch. This punch was like the sun falling and the golden crow rising. With a bang, the man in the lead was smashed into pieces. Damn it, his soul was pierced through by Lin Xian's gaze. The soul flame burned and extinguished it. Senior brother. The surrounding people went crazy. They didn't expect that the senior brother in the lead had already fallen. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Don't worry, soon. You will go to hell to see him. Quickly, the totem fuse. One of them was furious. The Tao patterns on their bodies condensed and fused together. The remaining people combined and turned into a long saber. With a slash of the saber, the 9 heavens were destroyed. The divine fire in the sky was split apart. The remaining 8 people were really crazy. They wanted to do it at all costs. The entire world was shattering. Competing with me in bloodline? Lin Xian sneered. I'll let you see my new bloodline. With a furious roar, dragon blood appeared on his body. Behind him, terrifying figures appeared one after another. There was a golden dragon, a Tyrannosaurus Rex, a terrifying saber dragon, and a pterosaur. 10,000 dragon phantoms appeared, covering the sky and the earth. How was that possible? Those people went crazy. They couldn't believe it. In the next moment, the 8 people were torn into pieces by the terrifying dragon phantoms. The world shattered and turned into chaos. Paths set. In the valley, everyone looked at the array formation in front of them and frowned. What was going on? Did the 16 people of the Sky Saber sect die? By Zhen's expression changed drastically. That was impossible. He carefully checked and found that the last attack was a monstrous phantom that covered everything. He couldn't see it clearly at all. Damn it, what trump card did that kid use? The situation didn't look good. After Lin Xian killed these people, he took away all their storage rings. He even used the Hand of Creation to condense the power of these people after they died into 16 blood essences. They circled around his hand and were put into a white jade bottle. Then he set off again. At this moment, the situation on the Crimson Dragon side was very bad, because after dozens of people came, the people of the Sky Saber sect also came. Shi Changfeng came with 12 people. Chapter 4756. These 12 people were very strong. With their addition, the pressure on the Crimson Dragon's side increased. Each of them had to face more than 20 experts of the same level. They were not ordinary mid-stage Saint Kings. They were all geniuses who could fight above their level. Some could even kill late-stage Saint Kings, and some could even kill peak-stage Saint Kings. Not to mention the Crimson Dragon. Even if they were 3 peak-stage Saint Kings, they would have died long ago. This group of geniuses was extremely powerful. However, the Crimson Dragon and the others were not weak, especially the Crimson Dragon. His bloodline had recently erupted, and his strength was unimaginable. The toad's poison was also very powerful. The weakest one was Nalan Liang. This Nalan Liang had suffered many injuries, and his body was dyed red with blood. Shi Changfeng walked over and said, "Nalan Liang, you are courting death by going against us. Today, we will send you to hell. You can forget about entering the Tao sect for the rest of your life." He had just arrived and was in his peak condition. However, Nalan Liang had been through a great battle and had consumed a lot of energy. Moreover, he was heavily injured. The gap between the two sides was very big. Seeing this, the Crimson Dragon roared, "Fatty, run. We won't blame you. Let's save your life first. You want to run? Can you run?" Shi Changfeng laughed as he was surrounded by an inescapable net which cut off his escape route. "Kneel down and count out to me 3 times. Call me Grandpa 3 times, and I will give you a quick death. Are you courting death? Come find me if you have the ability. I will beat you until you call me ancestor." The toad roared at the side. At the same time, he looked at Nalan Liang. "Damn fatty, run quickly. We don't have the strength to care about you." At this moment, the 2 toads were also in danger. Nalan Liang said, "You guys treat me as a brother. How can I run away?" "Oh, righteous as the clouds. How touching." Shi Changfeng sneered. "I wonder if the 2 of you will still be together when you go to hell." The few of them accompanied each other on the road to the Yellow Springs, so they weren't lonely. Shi Changfeng sneered and slashed down with his blade. Not good. The Crimson Dragon's face changed. Although Nalan Liang was loyal, he was afraid that he would lose his life. Nalan Liang's expression was ugly. He gritted his teeth and said, "Do you really think that I'm useless? Shi Changfeng, you are courting death. Take my mixed element strike, the ultimate strike, a sure kill strike." Fatty shouted angrily. The surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. What kind of ultimate move is this? What a powerful trump card. However, Shi Changfeng sneered. "Useless Fatty. If you really had a trump card, you wouldn't have failed twice. Go to hell." The skyblade in his hand was even more terrifying. However, he was wrong this time. Nalan Liang, who was in front of him, suddenly burst into flames and disappeared in an instant. He had turned into a skinny man, so skinny that he looked like a skeleton. His fist, however, was blooming with incomparably resplendent light. Boom! With a single punch, the heavenly blade in the sky was instantly shattered. Shi Changfeng's expression changed greatly. He wanted to flee, but it was already too late. This punch pierced through his head and turned his body into a bloody mist. His soul was also killed with a single blow. Boom! Boom, boom. Not only that, the void in front of him kept shattering. The ground cracked, forming an endless huge crack. Those who were close to it were also sent flying, vomiting blood. Everyone was going crazy. What is this? The Crimson Dragon and the Toad were also shocked. F***CK. This fatty. What kind of pill did he take? How did he become so terrifying? For a moment, no one dared to make a move. They all thought that Fatty was a super expert who had hidden his strength. Between heaven and earth, the cracks slowly healed. Dust filled the air, and a figure appeared in front of everyone. In the morning mist, the figure gradually became clearer. In the next moment, everyone looked over. Many people were shocked. Did an expert come? Who is this person? The figure in front of them was tall and slender. It wasn't the fatty from before at all. The Toad also frowned. Did this guy transform? They tore open the storm and looked carefully. Then they were stunned. The fatty was no longer there. Instead, he was a skinny person, like a mummy. There was no flesh at all. Only skin and bones were left. There were even wounds on his body. This person's face was pale, and his body had a sinister expression. Who is this person? Everyone was stunned. The Toad also asked, "Where did you take Fatty?" The figure in front said, "Heroes, it's me. Hurry up and support me. I'm about to fall." After saying that, he fell to the ground with a plop. The Crimson Dragon exclaimed, F***CK, it's that damn Fatty. The Toad also jumped over. It can't be. This guy is so strong. You burned all the energy in your body just now, right? That punch directly killed a top genius. Nalan Liang was very weak at the moment. However, he grinned. This is a sure kill skill. I researched. It's not my final trump card, so I didn't use it before. That Shi Chong Feng was too arrogant. I'll teach him a lesson. The people of the Heavenly Blade Manor were stunned. Shi Chong Feng was killed just like that. Damn it. They all went crazy. Shi Chong Feng was their Heavenly Blade Manor's top genius. This time, he definitely had hopes of entering the Tao sect. His future achievements were limitless. But now he actually died. Damn it, kill him and take revenge for senior brother. The people of the Heavenly Blade Manor gritted their teeth and charged forward. The other mysterious people also sneered. One of the three was already crippled. There were only two left. You guys will definitely die this time. The remaining people still had many things to do. At this moment, they were filled with killing intent. They were all prepared to use their trump cards. Nalan Liang said, "Let's retreat first. I don't have any energy left." The Crimson Dragon said, "There's no need to retreat. We have to die today." "Brother, you have a trump card. Do you think we don't?" "I just didn't want to use it before." "All right, I'll let them see my true ultimate skill." The Toad's eyes lit up. The aura of the two became abnormally terrifying. In the Tao's Sex Valley, everyone looked at this scene and frowned. Someone said, "This Nalan Liang has such an ultimate skill. It doesn't seem to be from the Nalan family." Another person said, "I guess it's an ultimate skill that he researched himself. This kid is really creative. But it's useless. If he uses this skill in a one-on-one fight, if the opponent doesn't die, he will die." Indeed, this was equivalent to his final trump card. As for Bai Zhen, his face was incomparably cold. He could already feel how ugly Lonzilla's face was. Thinking of this, he quietly retreated. It seemed like he was preparing other trump cards. He left the valley and said to the people around him, "Activate the hunter." "Yes, we know." Looking at the leaving figure, Bai Zhen sneered. The real killing move was about to begin. In the training ground, the Crimson Dragon's aura became extremely terrifying. On the other side, the Toad was also circulating its energy. Its body was originally only the size of a palm, but at this moment, it was constantly growing. It became even more terrifying than a mountain. Chapter 4757. Damn it! Hurry up and attack. We can't let them use their ultimate skills. The people on the other side rushed over when they saw this scene. It's useless. It's too late. I'll let you see Ben Huang's ultimate skill. Dragon Saber. The dragon scales on the crimson dragon rose into the air and condensed into a dragon saber. Imbued with his divine dragon bloodline, he slashed down with his saber. This attack turned into a divine dragon that was tens of thousands of feet long. It descended from the sky and destroyed everything. The people of the Heavenly Saber sect were in despair. This saber was too terrifying. Even their elders couldn't use such a terrifying saber technique. Damn it! Hurry up and use the Heavenly Saber totem. The remaining people didn't dare to be careless. Endless runes appeared on their bodies and formed the Heavenly Saber totem. They tried their best to block it. However, it was useless. Under this attack, the dragon saber shattered everything. The bodies of the people of the Heavenly Saber sect were all split open. They died in despair. The people of the Heavenly Saber sect fell. The dragon saber in the sky slowly faded. The mysterious people saw this scene and rushed towards the Crimson Dragon. This guy's trump card was too strong. They had to kill him or there would be endless trouble. At this moment, the toad roared. Its body had become as huge as a mountain. There was a terrible sound behind his head, the song of destruction. This sound was truly too terrifying. Nothing could stop it wherever it passed. The remaining mysterious people suffered a violent impact. They roared crazily and tried to resist. However, under this destructive force, they disappeared and no longer existed. The sky in front of them was shattering. The earth was cracking. It was a scene of destruction. Clang! The dragon saber turned into scales and returned to the Crimson Dragon. The Crimson Dragon's body shrank and roared. On the other side, the toad had also recovered. It sneered. Did you see that without my ultimate skill? Can you resist it? Is it over? Nalan Liang was shocked. He thought that his trump card was strong enough. He didn't expect these two guys to be even more terrifying. More than 70 experts were killed by the three of them, especially at the end. The Crimson Dragon and the Toad's 2 moves directly destroyed more than 50 people. How terrifying was that? There was absolutely no problem for the two of them to enter the Tao sect. In fact, they might even be extremely formidable existences within the Tao sect. As expected, some of the trial challengers were watching from afar. When they saw this scene, their scalps went numb. Was there such a terrifying expert among the challengers this time? Originally, he thought that only Lan Jiyu, a top-tier expert, would be present. No one else would be able to compete with him. From the looks of it, these 2 demonic beasts were pretty strong. Everyone was talking about it. At this moment, someone sneered. Don't you think this is a good opportunity? The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. While they were weak, they quickly eliminated these people. Some of them even turned into shadows and rushed over. The toad and Crimson Dragon in front of him had just heaved a sigh of relief when they suddenly frowned. They roared angrily and tore apart heaven and earth with a claw. A figure was sent flying while coughing up blood. The toad used poisonous gas to envelop the area. The human figures began to rot as they fled in terror. The 3 souls escaped into the sky, trying to escape into the distance. But at this moment, their souls stopped and gradually disappeared. It was as if it had been swallowed by something. What kind of method was this? It was too terrifying. The people watching from afar felt their scalps go numb. They originally thought that the 3 of them were weak and wanted to use this opportunity to eliminate them. But now it seemed too difficult. This kind of genius had completely surpassed them. Even if they were weak, they weren't people they could provoke. However, the dark red divine dragon's brows were tightly knitted together. They were the ones who launched the previous attack, but the souls of the three had not been devoured by them. Who was it? The Crimson Dragon roared, and the pressure of its bloodline spread in all directions. The void rippled, and a figure walked out. Dragon Clan. The figure smiled and said, "I wonder what your dream is like." "Who are you? Were you the one who swallowed the souls before?" The toad also snorted coldly. "You want to attack us? You're still lacking. Hurry up and scram, or I'll send you to hell." "Toad, I guess your dream isn't much. I'll just destroy your soul." The figure that came out floated in the void. His figure was like a dream, and there was a terrifying soul energy on his body. The Crimson Dragon frowned. "Be careful. This guy is probably a soul expert. Don't fall for his illusions." As soon as they finished speaking, they felt their souls shake. In the next moment, they seemed to have arrived in a forest. There was no danger around, and there was an endless amount of delicious food and wine in front of them. Lin Xian walked out of the forest and said, "Rosalong the toad is no longer in danger. The enemy has been killed. Let's drink and chat." Nalan Liang grinned. "I need to nourish myself." He pounced forward. The toad was also suspicious. The Crimson Dragon roared, "Damn it, this is a dream. Break for me." His dragon blood transformed into a dragon saber that cut through everything, like a broken mirror. The three of them came back to their senses, and they were covered in cold sweat. What just happened? Nalan Liang was dumbfounded. The toad also jumped up. "Damn, you dare to use illusions on us?" The Crimson Dragon's face turned ugly. This person was definitely a soul expert. He was even more terrifying than the previous 70 people combined. Nalan Liang thought of something and kept retreating. "I know who you are. You are the Dream Eater Wolf. Damn it, are you here to join the Tao sect too?" The Dream Eater Wolf was a mutated species of heaven and earth. It was an extremely terrifying demonic beast that specialized in creating dreams and devouring others' dreams. The souls that were devoured would disappear and become someone else's power. The souls of the previous 3 people were devoured in this way. The Crimson Dragon and the others also suffered the same attack. If it wasn't for the Crimson Dragon's bloodline exploding at the end, the 3 of them would be in danger. They had really underestimated the people of the world, as expected of the 3 great orthodoxies. Even the people who came were so terrifying. The Crimson Dragon originally thought that with their strength, they would be able to wipe out all of them without fear. But now, it seemed that they were too careless. This Dream Eater Wolf was indeed a difficult opponent. Dream Eater Wolf. When the people in the distance heard about it, they all retreated. This guy killed people without leaving a trace. They wouldn't even know how they died. They didn't dare to stay any longer. The Dream Eater Wolf looked at Nalan Liang and smiled. "You guys are not stupid to be able to recognize me. All right, give up on resisting." Dreamy bubbles appeared on his body and swept forward. A huge dream was about to be created by him. "Damn it, let's fight it out. Tighten your soul. Don't let him control you." The Crimson Dragon reminded. The dragon scales on his body condensed again, forming a dragon blade. The toad beside him also spat out poisonous fog to defend against the attack. Seeing that the battle was about to erupt again, the Dream Eater Wolf was stunned. He looked around. Then the corner of his mouth curled up. "Seems like I don't have to do anything. You guys are already targeted. To send such a person here, you guys have really offended someone powerful." Chapter 4758. After speaking, he smiled and said, "You 3, take care of yourselves. I don't want your souls." He turned and left. The Dream Eater Wolf came quickly and left quickly, disappearing without a trace in an instant. Toad heaved a sigh of relief. Were they scared away by us? Nalan Liang also smiled. Perhaps Brother Lin was here. They thought that Lin Xian should be here to help, but soon they realized that wasn't the case. Lin Xian's figure hadn't appeared yet, but there were 4 auras surrounding them. They spread out in all directions and shrouded them again. What a terrifying aura. Nalan Liang's scalp went numb. The Crimson Dragon was furious. Were their experts hunting them again? Did they really think that they were pushovers? 4 figures appeared in all directions. These 4 people were wearing battle armor, and even their faces were covered. It was impossible to tell who they were. Only a pair of eyes were emitting a biting cold radiance. The 4 of them held 4 sabers in their hands, and a terrifying, murderous aura came from them. The atmosphere in the entire area was extremely oppressive. There were still some people in the distance who didn't manage to escape in time. When they saw this scene, their pupils constricted. Someone exclaimed, "Hunters! Damn it, the people from the Tao sect of this world are also here?" These people were crazy. Usually, the beginning of a trial would be a battle between cultivators, and there would be arrays and traps in the trial space. There shouldn't be hunters. Even if there were, it shouldn't be. This should be the end. A battle between a few top experts should be one-on-one. Now that the 4 hunters were attacking together, it was obvious that they had the intention to kill. Who was giving orders to these hunters? What kind of terrifying existence did the 3 of them offend? Someone said, "I heard that they were reckless and offended the Dragon Palace." What? Offended the Dragon Palace? The Dragon Palace was the host this time. They could mobilize all their forces. The 3 of them were dead meat. No wonder the Dream Eater Wolf retreated. He didn't want to offend the Dragon Palace. "Let's go too." At this moment, everyone retreated. No one dared to offend the Dragon Palace. No one was a match for the hunters. The hunters were disciples who cultivated in the Tao sect. The experiences and cultivation resources of these people were not something the hunters could compare with. Crimson Dragon and the others felt their blood run cold. Although there were only 4 of them, they were much scarier than the previous group of geniuses. From the looks of it, there would be a tough battle ahead. The faces of the 3 turned cold. At this moment, a 5th figure descended from the sky. He swept through the area like a golden god of war. "Brat, you're finally here." The Crimson Dragon was pleasantly surprised, and the Toad let out a sigh of relief. Now that Lin Xian was here, the pressure on their side would be greatly reduced. Lin Xian frowned as soon as he arrived. The world around him was shattered. It was obvious that a terrifying battle had taken place here. Now, there were 4 more mysterious people here. Their aura made his hair stand on end. "Who was this person?" he asked. The Toad said that he heard that the hunter was a Tao sect disciple. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Were they sent by the Dragon Palace? The Crimson Dragon said, "Brat, don't force it. We killed 70 geniuses earlier and consumed a lot of energy." Nalan Liang was severely injured and retreated first. Lin Xian nodded and waved his hand, leading them to retreat. However, the 4 hunters all walked up. One of them said coldly, "It's useless. No matter how strong you are in front of us, you are no match for us." As disciples of the Tao sect, they had absolute confidence. These people who had not entered the Tao sect to cultivate could not be compared to them. One of them slashed with his saber. It was very powerful. The Crimson Dragon and the others were shocked. It seemed that they still had a long way to go after entering the Tao sect. Lin Xian sneered and waved his hand. He enveloped them. His other hand enveloped the Crimson Dragon. The 3 of them. Then he used the power of the void and tore everything apart. They disappeared. What was going on? The other 3 hunters walked up with their brows tightly knitted. Did the teleportation disappear? Chase. The 3 of them moved quickly. Tao sect in the valley. Wenren Yu frowned when she saw that the hunters had moved out. "You actually dared to use the hunters without permission. You have violated the rules." Bai Zhen sneered. "Don't you think you are meddling too much?" Wenren, you shouted coldly. As the organizer, the most important thing was fairness. You sent 4 hunters to target them. How could they survive? After speaking, he looked at Lon Zilu. Senior Brother Lu, please stop this immediately. Lon Zilu said, indifferently. The hunters had been activated during the trial, so there was no need to make a fuss. These people were very strong, but they still needed to temper themselves. The hunters were the best for them. Hunters also needed powerful prey in order to level up. But what else did Wenren you want to say? Lon Zilu waved his hand to stop her. Shun did not violate the rules. Wenren Yu sighed. He knew that he was just an ordinary member of the Dragon Palace. His identity could not be compared to Lon Zilu, so he could only shake his head and sigh. He wanted to leave. However, Baizhen stopped him. Where are you going? You should stay in the valley before the competition ends. Wenren Yu gritted her teeth. Looks like they were afraid that I would report this matter to the elders. At this moment, Wenren Yu felt slightly disappointed. Is this the Dragon Palace that I've always admired? After all, I've always been proud of joining the Dragon Palace. But now it would seem like the Dragon Palace is really too disappointing. He could only pray that they were strong enough to avoid the attacks of the hunters. Space split open beneath a cliff, and then the figures of Lin Xian and the others appeared. The hunter shouted coldly and activated his Saint Domain to defend himself. He laughed coldly. Do you think you'll be a match for me if you teleport us away? It's useless. Actually, I can crush all of you by myself. Is that so? Lin Xian laughed coldly. Perhaps you don't know our strength. A terrifying radiance erupted from him. The Crimson Dragon and the Toad walked over as well, and all three of them revealed cold smiles. Lin Xian slapped out with his palm. The primeval demon mountain appeared in the sky and descended from the sky, causing the entire world to shatter. The hunter roared furiously and slashed with his saber towards the primeval demon mountain. At the same time, his other hand swept out, and it seemed to have transformed into a divine sword. The three of them were courting death, so he fulfilled their wishes. However, he quickly realized that he was wrong. He was actually unable to resist them. First, the primeval demon mountain in the sky directly blocked his saber light. The Toad and the Crimson Dragon were very strong as well, and they didn't fear his attacks at all. Damn it, I miscalculated. These three people can't be measured by top-rate geniuses. They're heaven-defying geniuses, especially this newcomer. Every single move of his carried strength that was too strong, and he was like a golden god of war. Retreat. The hunter actually retreated at this moment. If anyone else saw this, they would probably be dumbstruck. When the people from Dragon Palace saw this, they frowned in the Dao Sect's ancient mountain. This is the first time a hunter has fled. Don't you think it's too late to leave? Lin Xian's figure flashed and blocked the hunter's path. Chapter 4759. Get lost. The hunter punched out. Lin Xian waved his sword and resisted. The hunter was knocked back, and his hand was split open. Damn it, why is the opponent so strong? Under the attacks of the three, the hunter was about to cry. In the end, he was suppressed by the Tai Chi diagram. Nalan Liang walked over in shock. It was the first time a hunter was suppressed. Quickly take off his helmet. What kind of person was it? The Toad took off the hunter's helmet. Inside was a young man. At this moment, his face was extremely ugly. Damn it, let me go. You wanted to kill us before. Now you want us to let you go. Don't you think it's funny? The Crimson Dragon sneered. That hunter said, I'm just following orders. Follow your ass. The Crimson Dragon slapped him. The hunter's face turned black. What? You don't accept it? If you don't accept it, I'll kick you to death. The Toad jumped on the hunter's face. The Crimson Dragon also waved his dragon claw. Nalan Liang was dumbfounded. The hunter was beaten into a pig's head. In the Dao Sec's ancient mountain, the people of the Dragon Palace were also stunned. The hunter was beaten up when Rinla was stunned. Previously, he was worried about these people. Now, it seemed that his worries were unnecessary. Thinking of this, he laughed. Bai Zhen, it seems that your scheme won't succeed. Bai Zhen's face was ugly. Damn it. Lanzilla's face was also cold. He turned his head and glanced at Bai Zhen. Bai Zhen's scalp was numb. He said that there were 3 more people. The remaining 3 wouldn't make a mistake. On the cliff, the hunter was about to cry. 3 heroes, please spare me. I'm just following orders. I won't dare to do it again. Brat, how should we deal with this? Kill him directly? The Crimson Dragon's eyes were filled with killing intent. The hunter's scalp was numb. I'm a disciple of the Dao sect. You can't kill me. Can't kill me? The toad sneered and slapped him again. The hunter's teeth flew out. Nalan Liang said, indeed, they couldn't be killed because they had a safety token. It was made by the Dao sect's elders. When the hunter came in and faced with certain death, the token would shatter and teleport him away. So that's how it is. Lin Xian nodded in understanding. Since he couldn't be killed, then he would beat him up. Then Lin Xian snatched the armor and saber from the man and put them on. After he put on the mask, he said, "Can you tell who I am?" The dark red divine dragon shook its head. Brat, are you thinking about it? The toad also laughed. Ha ha ha, I can already see the following scene. That. I eat. Next, they began to torture the hunter. The hunter even had the thought of dying. All right, let's go. You 3 hide. Lin Xian put on the hunter's armor and flew into the sky. Dao sect. In the valley, the people from the Dragon Palace went crazy. They couldn't believe it. Bai Zhen's face turned even uglier. He had a bad feeling. Sure enough, Lin Xian swept across the sky. He didn't hide his terrifying killing intent. Countless people looked up in fear. It was a hunter. Oh, heavens! Run quickly. Those cultivators saw him and ran away quickly. Soon, Lin Xian saw a hunter. He flew over and asked, "Have you dealt with that kid?" Lin Xian nodded. "Yes, he's dead. I killed all 3 of them." "Hey, look at who's behind you." The hunter on the other side turned his head. Lin Xian's palm landed on the other party's body. The Taiji diagram spun and directly split the other party into 2. Ah, damn it. You dare to attack me? That hunter had gone crazy. He couldn't figure out why his companion would suddenly attack. Lin Xian sneered. "If I attack you, I'll let you go to hell." With that, he waved his hand and formed a boundary space, enveloping the other party. Then, the toad and the Crimson Dragon appeared. Nalan Liang also had a smirk on his face. "Damn it, why aren't you dead yet?" He looked at Lin Xian and shouted angrily, "What are you doing?" Lin Xian took off his mask. "What do you think we are doing?" "Damn it, it's you? Where was that person?" The hunter went crazy. It wasn't his companion, but these guys. "Attack, don't give him a chance to escape." Lin Xian shouted angrily. The 4 of them attacked. It didn't take long for the hunter to be suppressed. This time, they directly sealed the other party. Even if they couldn't kill the other party, they couldn't let the other party escape. Moreover, these hunters were able to listen to the orders of the Dragon Palace. They must be from the Dragon Palace. Since that was the case, they wouldn't hold back. After being tortured for a while, the hunter even had the thought of dying. Next, the other 2 hunters were in the same situation. Lin Xian approached with their companions and then suddenly attacked. The 3 hunters were suppressed. Their faces were swollen like pig heads. Lin Xian used the dragon-shaped sword Qi to completely seal the 3 of them. Then he threw them in. The 4 of them put on the hunter's armor. "Go." The 4 of them waved their hands, and quickly soared into the sky. In the Tao sect, the atmosphere in the valley was extremely strange. No one dared to speak. Only Wenren Yu had a cold smile on her face. These people broke the rules, but they didn't expect that the other party was too strong. This was really embarrassing. If this spread out, the Dragon Palace would probably be laughed at. What did you do? Lan Zilu turned around with a cold expression. This Baizhen really couldn't do anything, but spoiled everything. Not only did he not kill a single enemy, he even caused the 4 hunters to be heavily injured. The 3 of them were suppressed. Was this a slap to the Dragon Palace's face? I was wrong. Senior brother, please calm down. I will deal with them myself. Bai Zhen's hair stood on end. He wasn't a match for Lan Zilu. Lan Zilu was very strong. He estimated that even 10 of him together wouldn't be able to defeat him. Bai Zhen hurriedly retreated. This time, he wanted to personally lead people in and kill those people. This is your last chance. The Dragon Palace doesn't want trash. Lan Zilu turned around and said coldly, I know, senior brother, don't worry. There won't be any more accidents this time. Bai Zhen's expression was cold. He put on the hunter's armor. He led people in again. Iwuya and Xue Dan. They were scouting the surroundings. They came here with Lan Jiu. If they could gain Lan Jiu's favor, then their future achievements would be limitless. There's no danger here. Iwuya said. Xue Dan nodded. There's no danger here either. The 2 of them met up and prepared to return to tell Lan Jiu. But at this moment, they discovered that 4 figures were about to arrive. Who are they? The 2 of them shouted angrily. Killing intent appeared on their bodies. But when they saw the 4 figures, their expressions became extremely unsightly. Hunters. Damn it. Why are hunters here? And why are they here? Chapter 4760. Run. The 2 of them didn't dare to fight back. Want to run? Lin Xian and the others sneered. They knew these 2 people. When Lan Jiu faced them, these 2 people wanted to kill them. How could they hold back now? Soon, the few of them were subdued. The Crimson Dragon and the others sneered and began to torture the 2 geniuses. They were better off dead than alive. Lan Jiu frowned. The people next to him said, Why aren't they back yet? Are they in danger? A genius from the Blue Clan sneered. Trash. With such strength, do you think you can stay beside Sister Jiu? They won't come. At this moment, a voice sounded. Then the 2 heads were thrown from the sky. The 2 heads roared crazily. Fairy Jiu, save us. Lan Jiu's pupils constricted. The people around were in an uproar. Who dared to attack these 2 people? Although they said it disdainfully, Iwuya and Xue Dan were both top tier. They were on par with them. At this moment, there was someone who could easily injure the 2 of them. Who exactly was this person? Soon, they saw 4 silhouettes appearing in all 4 directions. They were wearing armor and holding swords. They were emitting terrifying killing intent. Hunters! The genius's scalps went numb. Lan Jiu couldn't believe it either. Of course, she knew about the existence of hunters, but who was she? Her brother was a genius from Dragon Palace. He was the leader of this event. How could they send hunters to kill her? Who sent you? Don't you know who I am? Lan Jiu said coldly. No matter who you are, you will have to accept our test. Kill. Lin Xian roared in anger and quickly attacked, slashing out with his saber. The other 3 also attacked aggressively. The biting cold aura made their scalps go numb. Damn it. Lan Jiu slapped out frost, forming a world of ice and snow. She said, Attack! The people around also attacked. But how could they be a match for her? Apart from Nail and Liang, who they could contend with, they couldn't contend with the others, especially Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon. Lin Xian's sword was terrifying. Every attack contained the aura of the dragon sword spirit. The geniuses couldn't even block one attack. They were split in half. Too many of them had perished. Damn it. How could it be like this? In the Valley of the True Path sect, the people from Dragon Palace saw this scene, and their faces changed. They could clearly see what had happened. Naturally, they knew that this was a hunter disguised by Lin Xian and the others. However, they didn't expect the other party to meet Lan Jiyu. They all looked at Lan Jiyu. Lan Jiyu's face was also cold. Damn it. Was his little sister in danger? Although he had boundless confidence in his younger sister, the strength displayed by Lin Xian and the others was simply too astonishing. Senior Apprentice Brother Zilu, don't worry, Bai Zhen has already brought people over. They should be arriving soon. In the trial grounds, the battle was terrifying. Other than Lan Jiyu, the other geniuses were all killed. Lan Jiyu's face was ugly. She could fight against one, but 3 of the 4 challengers were very strong. If they attacked her together, she wouldn't be a match. Thinking of this, she shouted coldly, "Stop! I know the rules of the challengers. 1-on-1. Why are you attacking together? Don't worry. When you're alone, we'll fight 1-on-1. With that, Lin Xian slashed out again, turning a genius next to him into a bloody mist. Roars sounded. The people of the Blue Clan were usually high and mighty, but now they were like ants. They died instantly. Lan Jiyu's face turned cold. She felt that something was wrong. They definitely weren't real challengers. Who were you? The people who killed you. Lin Xian's voice was cold. His killing intent swept across the sky. Lan Jiyu's body shook. Blue light burst out of her eyes. She shouted coldly, "So it was you." As a top expert, she finally recognized Lin Xian. He was the one who killed her family's geniuses. She didn't expect him to pretend to be a challenger. Looks like you're not stupid. If that's the case, will you kill yourself or let us do it? 1-on-1. Let's fight. I'll let you know the difference between us. Lan Jiyu's cold eyes stared at Lin Xian. As you wish, Lin Xian walked out. I'll let you have 3 moves. You're courting death. Lan Jiyu roared. Endless frost rushed out of her body, forming a world of frost that covered the land. A terrifying frost aura condensed. It seemed to be able to freeze everything. Seeing this, Lin Xian sneered. With a wave of his hand, he swung the man-ruler's seal forward. Like a celestial emperor, he shattered the frost. He rushed towards Lan Jiyu. Lan Jiyu snorted. She waved her hand. The ice in the sky turned into an ice dragon, blocking the man-ruler's seal and sealing it between heaven and earth. Then, with another attack, countless frost arrows fell from the sky. Lin Xian used the great desolate sky-splitting hand. He tore the world apart, shattering all the frost swords. At the same time, he attacked again. The battle between the two was terrifying. Lan Jiyu's face was serious. Her eyes were filled with confidence. She didn't think she would lose. But soon, her face turned cold. She found that her opponent was really strong. He gave her a lot of pressure, especially when she found that her opponent was calm. He didn't seem to be nervous. In fact, he seemed more relaxed than her. Was this a casual attack? Damn it. She didn't believe it. Lin Xian was calm. He attacked casually. Dragon Elephant Finger. The Dragon Elephant Phantom danced in the sky. The space in front of them was shattered. The entire world of frost shook violently. Lan Jiyu gritted her teeth. Was he looking down on her? She was furious. Her bloodline erupted. She was about to use her trump card. But at this time, a cold voice came from the sky. "Kid, I finally found you." As soon as the voice rang out, Lin Xian frowned and looked up into the sky. The Crimson Dragon and the others also exclaimed, "Oh no, What a terrifying aura. Lan Jiyu retreated and didn't attack. She saw a familiar person. Bai Zhen, her brother's subordinate. Bai Zhen had come, and he had brought 10 hunters with him. They descended from the sky. The whole world froze. These hunters were all from the Taoist sect. They were very strong. Bai Zhen had joined the Dragon Palace. Such a strong team could definitely suppress everything. Kid, I let you go last time at the White Crane Tower. I didn't expect you to come here and cause trouble. You don't know what's good for you. Since you dare to come here, I don't think you need to live. Chapter 4761. Just you? Lin Xian sneered. You didn't attack me at the White Crane Tower because you were afraid of me. Do you think you're my match now that you've called over 10 helpers? The moment he said that, even the 10 hunters were stunned. What a bold person, daring to challenge Bai Zhen. Seems like he's tired of living. Bai Zhen's face darkened. Kid, I'll let you know what it's like to wish you were dead. Nalan Liang stood out and shouted. Your cultivation isn't at the middle stage of the Saint King realm. Even if the challengers want to attack, you can't. You've broken the rules. Indeed, Bai Zhen's cultivation was at the late stage of the Saint King realm. He shouldn't have come to the second gate. Bai Zhen sneered. You talk to me about the rules. I'm the rules. I can change them at any time. Are you unhappy? What strong words. Nalan Liang and the others gritted their teeth. Damn it, Lin Xian sneered. How disappointing. So this is the True Path sect? I thought that the True Path sect was an ancient inheritance. The geniuses inside are all at the peak of the world. Who would have thought that there would be trash like you? If the True Path sect is filled with people like you, I don't think I need to join. What did you say? Bai Zhen was furious. The True Path sect isn't something you can comment on. Do you believe that I won't kill you right now? You can try and see if you can do it. Lin Xian's expression was cold, although they couldn't use weapons here. So what? Lan Jiyu frowned and said coldly, Senior brother Bai Zhen, it's indeed against the rules for you to attack. Let the hunters behind you do it. Sister Jiyu, don't be afraid. I'm in charge here. Bai Zhen smiled. However, Lan Jiyu frowned even more. The True Path sect has its rules. I don't want to break them because of me. I think my brother doesn't want this to happen in the test he's in charge of. If this spreads, it won't be good for my brother's reputation. Damn it. Bai Zhen's expression was cold. This Lan Jiyu was really an idiot. What was there to be proud of? If it wasn't for the fact that his brother was Lan Zilu, he wouldn't have bothered with him. Thinking of this, he snorted coldly. Fine, since you've said so, I won't make a move. However, these 10 hunters were all at the early stage of the Saint King realm. Let them do it. Bai Zhen waved his hand and sneered. Go and take him down. The 10 hunters stood in the void, and the atmosphere was extremely tense. However, what was surprising was that the 10 of them did not attack together. Instead, only one of them stepped forward. Bai Zhen's face sank, and he said coldly, I said let's attack together. Didn't you hear me? The hunter who walked out was wearing a mask. He said coldly, Senior brother Bai Zhen, the rule of the hunters is to fight one-on-one, not group attacks. As a genius, I have my own pride. I hope that Senior brother Bai Zhen won't make things difficult for us. That's right. Senior brother Bai Zhen hopes that you will act according to the rules. The 9 hunters behind him also spoke coldly. Bai Zhen's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. Damn it, these guys actually dared to refute him. He was mad with anger. Nalan Liang was also stunned. Damn, what's going on? However, the toad laughed loudly. Ha ha ha, this is really a slap in the face. It seems that only you are despicable and shameless in the True Path sect. The others are normal. Lin Xian also laughed and nodded. The True Path sect is indeed an ancient inheritance. I take back my words from before. These top geniuses all had their own pride. The fact that they could come to the True Path sect meant that they had already surpassed the majority of the geniuses. Would they join forces to deal with a mid-stage Saint King? They were disdainful in their hearts. However, this also gave Lin Xian a chance. Bai Zhen gritted his teeth. A bunch of stupid things. He didn't say anything and just stood there coldly. The first hunter walked out and said, "You can attack." Boom. Lin Xian punched out, and it was as if a sun was rotating between heaven and earth. The terrifying divine fire swept through the 9 heavens. Everyone felt a wave of heat, as if their bodies were about to melt. Lan Ziyu frowned tightly. This guy was indeed strong. He could actually counter her frost. The hunter's pupils also shrank. He took a deep breath and shouted angrily. He formed a seal with his palm, and a divine eagle swooped down. Boom. The two collided, and the heaven and earth shook. The hunter retreated, and endless cracks appeared on his body. He stopped there in disbelief. After a while, he sighed. "You are really strong. I am not your opponent." The 9 hunters behind him were also shocked. The power of this punch made their hair stand on end. In an instant, the 7 hunters shook their heads. We are not his opponent either. Their strength was the same as the first hunter, or at least not much higher. Therefore, they probably couldn't take this punch. Only 2 hunters' eyes flashed. One of them walked out and said, "Let me try." Now, they were no longer here to hunt. Instead, they were here to challenge. Lin Xian nodded. He formed a seal with one hand and used the man-ruler seal. It was as if a celestial emperor had come out. So terrifying. The hunter's pupils shrank. The power of this palm was even more terrifying than the previous punch. Tianluo Divine Fist. He didn't dare to be careless. He used his most powerful technique. The two collided. The hunter flew out and smashed into the endless mountains. He climbed up from the ruins and spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. He was really strong. To be able to become a hunter, he was very powerful in the Taoist sect. But now, he couldn't even take one punch from Lin Xian. The last hunter also shook his head and sighed. "There's no need to fight. I'm not his opponent." With your talent. Even if you can't be first in the middle stage of the Saint King realm, you are definitely in the top 3. They were ashamed of their inferiority. The 10 hunters admitted defeat. Lan Ziyu was shocked. She couldn't believe it. She furrowed her brows tightly. She originally thought that she would be the first person to take the test, but now it seemed that she might not be the first. The young man in front of her made her feel a great pressure. It was the same pressure that her brother had given her back then. Bai Zhen's expression turned even uglier. Damn it. He clenched his teeth so hard that they almost broke. He didn't expect that he would admit defeat so easily with 10 hunters. Although the opponent was strong, if the 10 of them attacked together, they would definitely win. But the 14 of them didn't listen to him at all. What a laughable pride. He cursed in his heart. "Okay, only you are left." Lin Xian looked at him and said indifferently, "Bai Zhen, do it yourself." Bai Zhen was stunned. He couldn't believe it. Even Lan Ziyu's expression changed. In her opinion, defeating 10 hunters was enough to pass the test. But the other party still wanted to challenge Bai Zhen. Bai Zhen wasn't someone these hunters could compare to. Perhaps even 10 hunters added together wouldn't be a match for Bai Zhen. Bai Zhen sneered. "Are you sure you want to fight me? You really don't know what death is. Great, I'll take advantage of this opportunity to kill him instantly." Chapter 4762. The Crimson Dragon sneered. "You think too much. Suppress your cultivation and fight at the same level. Suppress your cultivation." Bai Zhen's expression turned ugly after hearing that. Cultivation was his advantage. Although he was only a late-stage Saint King, with his strength, killing a peak-stage Saint King was a piece of cake. This was the method of a genius. But if he suppressed his cultivation, he wouldn't have much of an advantage over the other party. Even if he won, it would be a difficult victory. So he wasn't willing. The toad sneered. Why not? If you suppress your cultivation, I'll only use one hand. Lin Xian also laughed. If you don't even dare to fight at the same level, how can you call yourself a genius? Is the Dragon Palace filled with trash like this? At this moment, Lan Jiu looked at the other party. The 10 hunters also looked at Bai Zhen with a hint of doubt in their eyes. Bai Zhen doesn't dare? Damn it, are they all looking down on me? Bai Zhen was angry. Brat, if you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. So what if you suppress your cultivation? He formed a seal with his palms, forming a few steals to suppress his cultivation to mid-stage Saint King. Then he roared and rushed towards Lin Xian. You really dare to fight me? Looks like you're not very smart. How can you be my opponent at the same level? Lin Xian sneered and struck out with his palm. The primordial demon mountain fell from the sky. At the same time, he said, not to mention suppressing your cultivation, even if you're at your peak, you can't beat me. Boom. Bai Zhen roared and split open the sky with his palms. He actually blasted the primordial demon mountain away. It could be seen that even if he suppressed his cultivation, he was still a top existence. But it was a pity that Lin Xian's methods were beyond his imagination. Lin Xian condensed the yin and yang qi in his hands, forming a taiji diagram and striking out. Bai Zhen's pupils shrank. He was too shocked by the laws of yin and yang. Kuan Pingzi cultivated this kind of law, so he naturally knew how terrifying the laws of yin and yang were. He didn't dare to be careless. With a roar, his black hair danced wildly. His gaze was like a knife as he split open the sky. He slashed forward, and a sword light swept across the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Everywhere it passed, laws crushed everything. A shocking sword light collided with the taiji diagram. The yin-yang qi that was scattered by the yin-yang diagram was too terrifying. The yin-yang qi rotated and destroyed everything. The world-shaking sword was shattered. The yin-yang diagram cut off one of Bai Zhen's arms. Bai Zhen retreated, clutching his wound. His face was full of shock. Damn it, how could he be so valiant? The 10 hunters exclaimed. Cold sweat dripped down from his forehead. The other party had such a terrifying technique. Previously, they had defeated the other party with a single move. Now, it seemed that even if the 10 of them attacked together, they would not be able to take down the other party. You're pitifully weak. You're no match for me. Lin Xian withdrew the yin-yang diagram and stood with his hands behind his back. He said, Ruzalong, I'll leave it to you. The Crimson Dragon walked out and smiled. All right, I'll teach him a lesson. He looked at the other party and waved his hand. Go all out and let me see your strength. Damn it. Bai Zhen shouted angrily. His broken arm was restored, and his face was extremely ferocious. Kill. With a roar, he charged out. Rock seal. His palms formed imprints, forming a great peng. This was a type of extreme Tao imprint. It flickered with radiance, illuminating heaven and earth. One the great peng descended from the sky. Its power was comparable to the human ruler's seal. It seemed that the Tao Sex Foundation was indeed strong. The Crimson Dragon snorted coldly. Divine Dragon 8 strikes. He waved his dragon claws and attacked quickly. It was as if a giant dragon had come into being, sweeping across all directions. He collided with the golden peng. The peng was torn apart by the giant dragon. Bai Zhen spat out blood and flew backward again. His body was torn in half. Trash, what a piece of trash. The Crimson Dragon sneered. How could this be? This guy was also so strong. The 10 hunters were stunned. Lan Jiu also gasped. Bai Zhen was so angry that he vomited blood. Damn it, not only could he not defeat Lin Xian, but He could not even defeat the snake next to him. He was really mad. Toad, he's trash. I'll leave him to you. The toad jumped out and laughed. Come, I'll teach you how to be a human. You're courting death. Bai Zhen's eyes were red, and his killing intent was shocking. Even a toad dared to jump out at this time? Damn toad, die. Dark demonic blade. Heaven and earth darkened. A terrifying aura erupted. This blade could cut through one's soul. Lin Xian frowned. This guy actually used such a poisonous martial art. The toad sneered. Playing with poison with me? I'm your ancestor. Watch me. Toad. Big face slapping technique. The toad's body quickly shrank until it was as small as an ant. It dodged the fatal blade. At the same time, its two palms kept growing. It was as if they had turned into two mountains. It attacked from left and right, slapping Bai Zhen's face. Boom, boom. The world shook. Bai Zhen's face was smashed, and his teeth flew to the ground. Ah, Bai Zhen went crazy. Smoke came out of his body. His internal organs were about to explode. The demonic aura on his body became more and more terrifying. Darkness accompanied him as if he was about to revive. In an instant, his aura erupted and broke through the seal. He recovered his late-stage Saint King cultivation. Damn ants, I'll kill you. The toad quickly retreated and pulled away. What? Did you break the seal? So you can't beat me at all. How can someone like you be a genius? I think it's better to call you trash. The Crimson Dragon sneered. Do you think you can defeat us just because you broke the seal and recovered your cultivation? Since you don't follow the rules, don't blame us for joining forces. Lin Xian also walked over. The three of them stared at Bai Zhen. The aura of heaven and earth kept exploding. The 10 hunters felt their hairs stand on end. How terrifying would it be for the three top geniuses to attack at the same time? They were all worried for Bai Zhen. In the Dao Sect's ancient mountain, everyone's face turned ugly. Bai Zhen was from the Dragon Palace. Now, he was being slapped in the face. He was defeated by 3 people. This was not just a slap to the other party's face. The Dragon Palace was also embarrassed. Lan Zilu snorted. In the next moment, he waved his hand, and a formation appeared beside them. Their bodies disappeared into the valley. In the training ground, Bai Zhen's aura was very heavy. Today, he had to kill the 3 of them, no matter what. But at this moment, the void cracked, and a cold voice sounded. Shameless thing, stop it. Bai Zhen's body shook when he heard the voice. Lan Jiu also exclaimed, Brother! A few figures descended from the sky. The one standing at the front was clad in blue armor and looked extraordinarily valiant. His aura was very terrifying. Although he was a late-stage Sage King, he was much stronger than Bai Zhen. Even Lin Xian's brows were tightly knitted together. This person was very strong. Bai Zhen said, Senior Brother Zilu, give me a chance. I can definitely kill the 3 of them. Useless thing. Don't you know how to repent? Go back and reflect on your mistakes. Everything was planned by Bai Zhen. But the mysterious person, Shi Changfeng, and the rest of the Skyblade sect joined forces to attack, but they couldn't do anything. Later, they attacked 4 more hunters, but it was still useless. In the end, the 10 hunters and Bai Zhen were all defeated. Now, Bai Zhen still wanted to attack. If Bai Zhen were to use his true strength and be defeated by the 3 of them, the Dragon Palace would lose all face. Chapter 4763. Bai Zhen gritted his teeth, but he had no choice. In front of Lan Zilu, he could only lower his head and turn around. He stared at Lin Xian and the others. Brat, you're lucky this time. But when you enter the sect, I'll let you know what despair is. Hearing this threat, Lin Xian and the others sneered. A loser was nothing to be afraid of. Then Bai Zhen left. The 10 hunters left. Lan Zilu looked deeply at Lin Xian and the others. then disappeared as well. The test continued. There was only one last test left. That was to climb the stairway to heaven and complete the test. The pressure on the stairway was very strong. But for Lin Xian and the others, it wasn't a problem. Nalan Liang, on the other hand, felt like he was facing a great enemy. He felt like all the bones in his body were about to break. But luckily, the toad and the crimson dragon helped him resist some of the pressure. The four of them finally succeeded in climbing the stairway to heaven. They passed the test. On the other side, Lan Jiu also passed. Other than him, there was another person. This person's body was like a dream and was abnormally mysterious. His terrifying soul made people's scalps tingle. His appearance made the crimson dragon and the others frown. Brat, this is the Dream Eater Wolf. He attacked us before. His soul is very scary. Lin Xian was surprised. He looked at the other party. He didn't expect that other than Lan Jiu, there was another top-level Tianxiao. The Dream Eater Wolf also looked at Lin Xian. He hadn't seen this person before, but he could feel how powerful he was. Thinking of this, he sneered. His eyes shone with a dreamy light. Lin Xian felt the pressure on his soul. He snorted. Golden light exploded in his eyes, and the other party's dreamy bubble burst. The Dream Eater Wolf was surprised to be able to break his dreamy soul. It seemed that the other party wasn't simple. He probably cultivated other eye techniques. Interesting. What's your name? Lin Xian. Lin Xian, right? Very good. I'll remember you. You deserve my special attention. After entering the sect, we'll have plenty of chances to fight. Lin Xian's group of four, the Dream Eater Wolf, and Lan Jiu, a total of 6 people passed the test. The others had all failed. Some of them were directly eliminated, while others were killed and died inside. Only 6 out of 1,000 people passed? That was really too little. The toad exclaimed. Nalan Liang said, no, it was enough. In the past, at most 1 or 2 people would pass the test. On a good day, there would only be 3 or 4. This time, it was several times more. Indeed, Lin Xian the toad and the Crimson Dragon had joined forces to help Nalan Liang, which was why the number of people had increased. However, even with this being the case, only 6 people had joined. From this, one could imagine how difficult it was to enter the Tao sect. After the test, they walked out of the second door. At the same time, people from other Tao sects also appeared. Sure enough, there were 4 people at most, and only 1 at least. In fact, not a single person from the Daoist sect in the early stage of the Sage King realm had succeeded. Those who succeeded stood in the sky, receiving the attention of the crowd. Countless people looked towards Lin Xian and the others. Then they exclaimed, "Oh my God, look, isn't that the arrogant brat? He had actually succeeded. Didn't he offend the Dragon Palace and wasn't targeted? What was going on? His ranking was higher than Lan Jiu's?" Everyone looked over and was shocked. The first place was actually Lin Xian and not Lan Jiu. This was unbelievable. The arrogant blue-robed man, and the others looked at Lin Xian with fear. Previously, they had even mocked Lin Xian. But now they couldn't wait to run away. What was even more shocking was that there were very few people who had been eliminated from the second door. What about the others? Could it be that they all perished in there? Thinking of this, they were going crazy. What exactly had happened inside? At this moment, Lan Zilu and the others appeared again. They said coldly, "The Tao Sect's test has ended. Everyone come back next year." As for those who failed this time, they would only be able to enter the test the year after next. After speaking, he looked at Lin Xian and the others and said, "You guys can join the Tao sect if you pass." Soon, he led Lin Xian and the others inside. They had finally entered the Tao sect. The Tao sect was a place where spiritual energy and the great path intertwined. It was extremely terrifying and much stronger than the outside world. It was even more terrifying than the average clan of the ancients. No wonder it was an ancient inheritance. After entering, the Tao sect's disciples came to receive them. They led Lin Xian and the others to different places. The Dream Eater Wolf left immediately with this person. As for Lan Jiu, he left with his brother, Lan Zilu. As he left, Lan Jiu turned to look at Lin Xian and said coldly, "I'm sorry. This time, my ranking is lower than yours. It's not that I'm not as good as you. It's because I didn't use all my strength. Let's meet on the stars ranking." After speaking, she turned and left. On Lin Xian's side, a young man led Lin Xian and the others in another direction. They landed in a mountain range, and there was a courtyard inside. It looked very desolate. Lin Xian frowned slightly. The Crimson Dragon also said, "Is this a place for humans to live?" The young man snorted. "What? You don't like this place? Then you can find your own place." After speaking, he sneered and turned to leave. The Crimson Dragon was furious. "Stop. Speak clearly. Is someone trying to harm us?" What a joke. In a place like the Tao sect, even the ordinary disciples had a lot of resources. They were even better than the clan leaders of the other clans. But now what they were given was not enough. How could they not be angry? "What? Do you dare to fight me? Looks like I have to teach you junior brothers a lesson." The young man sneered and pointed with his finger. Finger of death. The surrounding trees withered quickly. Heaven transformation palm. The Crimson Dragon slapped over. His dragon claws turned into a sky and broke the young man's finger. The young man retreated with an ugly expression. "Damn it! How can he be so strong?" "What? Are you surprised? You're a subordinate of the Dragon Palace, right? Didn't anyone tell you what happened in the trial ground? You want to fight against us?" The toad walked over and laughed. "Tell me, who ordered you to do this? Otherwise, I'll let you know what it means to live a life worse than death." The young man still wanted to resist. Lin Xian struck out, a sword reaches the world, and enveloped him. The few of them attacked and beat the young man into a pig's head. The young man was about to cry. He had never seen such a terrifying newcomer. "Don't you know that you can't casually attack your fellow disciples in the Tao sect? You violated the rules. You'll die a horrible death." As soon as he finished shouting, Lin Xian kicked him and almost broke his teeth. "You're the one who made things difficult for us first. We were just forced to fight back. Even if the elders find out, we're in the right. Also, do you think that the Dragon Palace will care about your life for the sake of their reputation?" Chapter 4764. Hearing this, the young man's expression became incomparably ugly. He was not a match for these people at all. In addition, these people's methods made him hover between life and death. He finally begged for mercy. "Please let me go. I'm just following orders. It was senior brother Bai Zhen who told me to treat you like this." Bai Zhen. Hearing this name, the faces of the few people darkened. It was him again. He really didn't know what was good for him. Where was that Bai Zhen? "Lead the way?" Lin Xian snorted coldly. The young man was shocked. "You want to go to senior brother Bai Zhen's residence?" He was really too shocked. "Why didn't I lead the way?" "Then don't blame me for collecting your soul." Lin Xian's eyes flickered with a terrifying light. The young man felt a huge soul pressure, as if his soul was about to split open. "No, don't do it. I'll lead the way." He had no choice but to lead the way. The Crimson Dragon and the Toad used their laws to seal him. The young man had no choice but to fly ahead. They were very fast, but the Tao sect was very vast. Even so, it took a long time to reach Bai Zhen's residence. On the way, they met many people who were quickly gathering. When those people looked over, they were surprised. What was going on? This young man was also an expert in the Tao sect. Why was he locked up? The young man lowered his head. He even had the heart to die. He reckoned that from now on he would really have no face to come out. Lin Xian frowned and looked around. He said that something big seemed to have happened. Nalan Liang went over to ask and then returned. He said that something big had indeed happened. Someone wanted to challenge a stars ranking expert. Who was it? This time, even the young man who was suppressed was curious. Nalan Liang said that it was Lan Jiu. She wanted to challenge Tai Zhentian, who was ranked 90th on the new stars ranking. This was impossible. The young man roared crazily, his face full of disbelief. The Crimson Dragon slapped him. What did he say? What was going on? What was the stars ranking? Why did you think it was impossible? The young man had already been suppressed. At this moment, he could only answer honestly. He said, in the Tao sect, there were 3 rankings. They were the stars ranking, the jade ranking, and the Xian ranking. The 3 rankings corresponded to Middle Holy King, Late Holy King, and Peak Holy King, respectively. Even though the Tao sect would only search for a few disciples each time, they would recruit new disciples every year. Furthermore, the Tao sect had a long history. Therefore, there were many people who joined the Tao sect. In order to enter the stars ranking, one had to be a Middle Holy King in the True Path sect and be ranked in the top 100. Such strength was terrifying. It was impossible for a newcomer to succeed. It could only be said that he was courting death. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. It seemed that the people on the stars ranking were all in the middle stage of the Holy King realm. They should be terrifying existences. That's right, the young man said proudly. Those on the stars ranking were all geniuses who could fight above their level. Killing Saint Kings and Peak Saint Kings was a piece of cake. It was to the extent where some of them could kill more than one. What kind of power was this? He was definitely not someone a newcomer could compare to. The Crimson Dragon's interest was piqued. In that case, let's go and take a look. Lin Xian nodded. All right, lead the way. The young man was on the verge of tears. He was now a prisoner and did not want to be seen by others. However, this challenge would probably be watched by countless people. If he went, wouldn't he be laughed at? He wanted to retreat, but when he saw Lin Xian's cold eyes, his scalp went numb. He could only brace himself and fly forward. The few of them landed on a mountain peak. There were many people standing on the surrounding mountain peaks, and on the ground, there was an ancient battlefield in front of them. On the battlefield, a woman stood with her hands behind her back. The icy aura on her body formed a world of ice. What a terrifying icy aura. Many people around were shocked. This newcomer was really too strong. However, there were also people who said that she did not know her limits. This was the Tao sect. It was not a place where a newcomer could behave atrociously. I think she will lose in 3 moves this time. The person who spoke was also an expert on the stars ranking. When he said this, the others nodded. The stars ranking was not something that anyone could challenge. At this moment, a voice sneered. What do you know? This Lan Jiu was not an ordinary person. Everyone turned around and wanted to refute. However, when they saw the person, their faces changed. He was from the Dragon Palace. Moreover, he was on the Jade ranking. His strength was much stronger than theirs. The expert on the Jade ranking said, Lan Jiu was Zilu's sister. Do you think her talent is bad? So that was the case. The crowd was in an uproar. No wonder this woman was so arrogant. She was Lan Zilu's sister. Lan Zilu was one of the experts from the Dragon Palace. He was also an expert on the Jade ranking. He was ranked 36th on the Jade ranking. His strength was terrifying. They could not be compared to him. As expected, the surrounding people did not speak anymore. Even the expert on the stars ranking who spoke earlier apologized immediately. He said that he did not recognize Mount Tai. I will let you off this time. The expert on the Jade ranking sneered. He turned around and flew towards the mountain peak. Over there, Lan Zilu and the people from the Dragon Palace stood with their hands behind their backs. Seems like Zilla's sister is going to win this time. One of them laughed. Another person said, "That's for sure. She is going to challenge the 90th ranked one. Nothing will go wrong. I think with her strength, it is possible for her to challenge the 80th ranked one. After this battle, I think we can let Zilla come to the Dragon Palace." Lon Zilla nodded his head slightly. He had nothing to worry about in this battle. Then he frowned and looked at the figures in the distance. Those guys. He was looking at Lin Xian and the rest. The other people from the Dragon Palace saw them too. Their faces turned cold. They had seen everything these fellows had done through the array formation. It was truly shocking. "Senior brother Zilla, do you want me to teach them a lesson?" Lon Zilla said. There was no hurry. "We have time. If we take action now, people will think that the Dragon Palace is too stingy." They understood. The surrounding people laughed. They would take action in a few months. By then, everyone would forget about this matter. They would not say anything about the Dragon Palace. In this way, the reputation of the Dragon Palace would not be damaged. Lon Zilla continued to ask, "What about Bai Zhen?" When he said this, his eyes turned cold. "It's all because of this good-for-nothing. Otherwise, why would there be so much trouble?" Bai Zhen said that he went out to accept a mission. "I think he wants to avoid the punishment. If he messes up, let's see how he will explain it when he comes back." "Can he avoid it?" Lon Zilla snorted. If it were not for his sister, who was an expert on the Jade ranking, he would have chased him out of the Dragon Palace. "Senior brother Zilla, you don't have to be angry with such a person. Look, Zilla's sister's battle has started. On the battlefield, other than Lon Zilla, there was another tall man. He was wearing black iron battle armor and had a terrifying aura. You're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.